Adopted the dark. I was born in it.
The name is Law Nation. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all that's here, that's joining us today. The middle of the month of August, football flavor and season is right around the corner. The real football, right? Without all of the fluff. Y'all know how it goes, Cowboy Nation. Don't fall for it. Cowboys setting up Dak Prescott for failure. You know, I'm not finna go down that line, but we're going to talk about these topics. And that's my job here, right? To talk about the topics, right? Come on, Cowboy Nation. We don't dodge anything. We going to bring it because we right here. And we ain't going anywhere. Come on. Shout out to all of the supporters out there, man. I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and being part of this groove. Let's get it. Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this, huh? Something we all adore, something worth dying for. There's nothing but pain, we stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame. You gotta squeeze it out, fame. Let's go. Where my dogs at? Come on. Let's get it, baby.
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
No doubt. Come on. Watch how that beat jump in for the nah, baby. Boom. Make your face ugly. What's up, man? What's up, y'all? Let me just do some house cleaning before we get started. A lot of people say, clickbait. In my title of the Roquan Smith, it clearly say, if Roquan Smith, right? It didn't say Roquan Smith traded to Dallas. It says, because you know a lot of people, I understand, you know, they didn't finish high school, or they still and they can't read and they don't see IF, and I just got to give them an educational part of it. Clickbait will be Cowboys signed Roquan Smith, right? That's clickbait. Non-clickbait material be if Roquan Smith signed to the Cowboys or traded to the Cowboys would make the Cowboys dangerous. That's class session. So it's not clickbait. I don't need clickbaits, baby. So many people hit me up about the Roquan, and we all know that Roquan requested to be traded from the Chicago Bears. He requested. It's not clickbait. That's what he said. That's what he wanted, right? Normally, when people, hear me out, get released, the Cowboys' name will always be mentioned. That is a good move, by the way. You mention the Cowboys, there's going to be articles put out, right? You put out the articles. Fan base. We got the biggest fan base in the National Football League, right? Or in the world. They read it. And then they want to know people's opinion about said article. So they jump into my DMs, they jump under all of my comments, and they say, Law, what about Roquan? What the Cowboys would look like with Roquan? And me, if I go down every single comment of reading, this is what happened, that what would happen, this would it look like, they'll be foolish. Yes, I'm a content creator. And as a content creator, it is my duty to give you guys my thoughts and opinions. Trust me, Jerry Jones is not going to give me the keys to the franchise. He would not allow me to make the decisions of the franchise. But dog it, I have a thought out there that a beautiful fan asked me, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. You know the craziest thing about most of the detractors and some Cowboy fans? They ask me for my opinion. Law, what is your favorite color? And I'll say, man, I like variations of blue. Oh, man, you horrible, man. You asked me the question, you know. Why is not pink? Why is not yellow? Why is not red? You asked me for my opinion. Law, how do you feel that what you think that the Cowboys going to do this year? 13-4. Man, you out your god doggone mind, Law. You crazy, man. You foolish. You asked me. You know, you asked me. It's crazy. You asked me of what I feel what the Cowboys is going to do. Right? So that's, my friends, my opinion, my thoughts. I can't change no one. Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, right? Cowboy Nation, that's just how it is. Law, how do you feel about Dak Prescott? Do you think that he's a top 10 quarterback? Yes. Man, you out of your mind. You asked me what's my thoughts are on Dak Prescott. It'll be a different story if I ask you, right? But you asked me. So my thoughts on Roquan Smith, yes, he will be a nice addition to this team. Do I feel or think that he will be here? No. Based off of the historical data that we have in the reference with John Stephen Jones, that's 9 times out of 10 will not happen. Right? We will literally see Devin Harper, who I really like Devin Harper, by the way. I really like his abilities, and I'm not saying that he's Roquan, but the Cowboys would like to give him a chance. And then with that, we got Damone Clark that's in the wings waiting for the future. Cowboys think for the future. They don't think for the now. Those are the truths right there, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, JD. Appreciate you for jumping in. Dallas Cowboys superfan, appreciate you. And it's objective analysis, right? It's as much as possible of thinking, hey, you know, you add in this piece, it will help elevate that piece, right? And if you had a linebacker who had 111 solo tackles last year, that's not by mistake. 45 assisted tackles, right? Sixth, or when you add both of those numbers, he was top 3 in tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 interception. You would say, yeah, that would help out your team tremendously. Law, do you have any tape on Sam Williams at Denver? We have tons of tape on the offensive side. The defensive side of the tape's kind of scarce right now. Some people have it, but they playing mean ball. They don't want to share with me, but that's okay. That's okay. When the real season kick off, we will have full access to everything. But shout out to everybody's stingy these days. Everybody's greedy. Everybody thinks for themselves and not for everyone else these days. And I feel it, you know. But neither here nor there. When I get my hands on some of the information, I will tell you guys what I feel about it, you know. But this team heading into the 2022 season, what was brought up amongst a lot of people is the Cowboys, the penalized team. I don't want you guys to fall into the traps of the narrative that this team all of a sudden is the most penalized team in the National Football League. Since 1996, this team been the top 3 in penalties. And you guys would be foolish to point it only or lean towards the ideology of saying, hey, man, it's only Mike McCarthy is the reason why that this team is heavily penalized, right? Shout out to, let me see if I got it right here. May not have it right here, but yeah, I do have it. Shout out to Dan Rogers. Let me see. I said here, Cowboys been one of the most penalized team in the NFL since 1996, top 3 in flags and fines, right? Don't be foolish and use this as an isolated Mike McCarthy problem. Now, shout out to Dan Rogers. He's been around the Cowboys community for a long time, and he says the Cowboys have finished with the most penalties in 2021, which is true, right? 11th most in 2020, right, which is a situation whereas we were the 11th most penalized team in the National Football League, which was bad, and we had a historically bad defense, right? And 2 years under Mike McCarthy, they never finished that bad ranking in any of the previous 7 seasons. It's not foolish to believe that the discipline and the accountability is lacking under Mike McCarthy. See, if I didn't do my homework, I would be in trouble. Sweat would be falling off my face. It will be literally this moment right here that you guys will be looking at me pressing the panic button, right? It'll be me saying, oh, man, he got me. It'll be me, oh, I'm crying or what have you. But Law Nation, I believe that I do my homework, baby. And when I do my homework, I let the facts speak for themselves, right? So when you see 1996, since 1996, I said top 3. You got the Vegas Raiders at the time. Of course, they wasn't the Vegas Raiders, but they just updated their name. And for those who don't know and understand, was Al Davis still alive? Yeah. Oh, and then it was not the Los Angeles Rams, because they just updated the name as it go by. It is the Los Angeles Rams. And then it's the Cowboys, right? I said top 3. And then from my math, I'm an econ. I graduated top of my class in econ or what have you. I can tell you that from what I can see is that 1, 2, 3 is the Cowboys, right? I'm just saying for what I can see right here. It's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. And to contextualize what I said as above, so below. The discipline, accountability, and lacking under Mike McCarthy, ? However, what are the explanations? Collectively speaking, I stand correct with my previous tweet that the issues far as penalties, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, didn't just start with Mike McCarthy. It's been an ongoing situation. And if you really dive deep into the Raiders or what have you, they had an issue with Al Davis, right? Running that team and organization, because there was some other nefarious thing that was going on that I'm not finna go into details. And if you really contextualize it, and I will jump right into it, just briefly, I'm just going to gloss over it a little bit. Although the St. Louis Rams at the time was the second on that list since 1996, hear me out. They have been at odds with the league as well. It's crazy when we start diving deep into it. When we dive deep into it, why were they at odds with the league? They went to St. Louis. The league never wanted them to be in St. Louis, right? They was angry and upset that they moved to St. Louis. Now, they've been in St. Louis for a long time, but then they went back to L.A. You see, it goes deeper than just playing football on the field. This is all political. But y'all don't want to hear me. So when it was time for the St. Louis Rams to get back to L.A., guess who they used? If Jerry Jones never exists, the St. Louis Rams wouldn't have been able to get back to the L.A. Guess who owned a third of the property where the Rams play at? But, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's something strange about these penalties, about these 3 teams being in the top 3 or top 5 in penalties, But we're not going to dive that deep into it, right, baby? We ain't finna go into the conspiracy law, We ain't finna go down that pathway. But I just want to tell you guys that it's much more than what the eye can see. It is deeper than what you guys can realize. Think about this. In 2019, I'm going to touch on this and I'm going to jump off the topic right here and get into the main topics of the details. But in 2019, never in the history of NFL, 2 offensive pass interference were ever called in one game on one player. Did you guys know that happened? Oh, and it was the Dallas Cowboys versus the New Orleans Saints, right? Oh, we use replays to see whether or not something is actual versus something that's not. In that same game, Ezekiel Elliott fumbled the ball, elbow down inside the ground, right? Bell, I think he played for the Ohio State at the time. He played for the Ohio State, but he played with the Saints, picked up, said supposedly fumbled, ran it all the way back. Let me know if that play was turned over. Right? Oh, let me go a little bit further. In that same 2019 game, season, never in the history of the NFL, 2 tripping calls were called in a single game. Let me know what game that was in and how much did we lose by. If you add those 2 games, just those 2 games alone, you're in the playoffs. Anything can happen once you get into the playoffs. The Cowboys finished that season 8-8. But it's not the Cowboys, right? Just because they didn't lead the league in penalties, you still had some questionable calls that all 31 other teams, or really 30 other teams, don't have those type of shakes. Law, do you have any more truth to this? Man, I'm talking so much truth it make my teeth white. It make my beard hair grow. In that same another game, the Jets, we seen a pass interference call on the offense. After Jason Witten catches the ball, it was Jason Witten, or I could be off. It could have been our guy that plays for the Miami Dolphins now, Cedric Wilson. But they called the PI on one of those 2 guys. Random PI call that took away the touchdown, right? Took away the touchdown. But from my side of the table, when I point out these things, right, and I give you guys tape and evidence, all y'all gonna say is, man, Law just giving excuses. Just like when I was right about the catch, no catch. I said, man, Dez caught the ball, right? And it took the NFL 3.5 years later to say, you know what, he did caught it, But I was a fool. I was delusional all the way up until that point. You guys see how this thing goes? It's crazy to see these things and say, all right, this is just by chance since 1996. Let me know what else happened in 1996 and 1997, Cowboy Nation. Can you put $750 million that someone sued the NFL and ultimately won? Let me know what happened in there. I ain't trying to be conspiracy law. But, man, I'm telling you guys, you are fighting a battle. Now, granted, the before the snap penalties and everything, I give you that. I'll give you that. The Cowboys need to clean up that. But there will always be a subjective thing that happened that all of a sudden it would get viewed upon and called upon at its worst moments with the Cowboys. Case in point, we was in the playoff one year. You guys can put the year down. And it was a careless mistake that any other team would get the benefit of the doubt. But since it was the Cowboys and Bryce Butler, of all people, runs into the huddle, since it was the Cowboys, let us call that, I can't make this stuff up. I kid you not. And I got to say this one more thing because it's itching. You're like your ear itching. You want to be able to scratch it so it can feel good. Here's the thing. It goes all the way back to Tony Romo, right? He rolls out, go back for a pass against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think his name was I forgot the name of the player. I think it started with an H. I forgot the name of it. He goes around and creeps Tony Romo, laying on him, breaks and shatter his collarbone, right? And they just laugh about it, scoff about it, and say, hey, man, that's just the Cowboys accident waiting to happen. And then, I think it was the following year later or something, the exact same thing happened. Anthony Barr lands the exact same way on Aaron Rodgers. And now it's a rule. You can't land on the players no more. You know, I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. But y'all will clearly say, hey, you know, Law is out of his mind. You know, it's crazy. It's flat out crazy, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man.
You merely adopted the dark.
Y'all wasn't ready for this show today.
I was born in it.
Y'all wasn't ready for this show today, man. Come on, man. Let me stop talking, man, before they come knocking on my door, you know. Before I get anonymous, you know, knocking on the door with some FBI, open up. Let me talk some football, man. You know, y'all. You know, oh my gosh, man. You know, it's crazy, Cowboy Nation. It's flat out crazy. Let me see if it's not. It can't be this one. Y'all bear with me. I done got too hyped into my own opening here, and they don't have the audio matched up yet. So charge it to my head, not my heart. It's somewhere in here. There we go. Bear with me.
That I was told by someone I really, really trust in Oxnard. Don't believe the Cowboys. Don't believe Dak can just carry a bunch of scrubs. That I was told by someone I really, really trust in Oxnard. They still had to pay him because you have to have the quarterback, and I agreed with that. Okay, so those are the first two things. They don't believe. Okay, just give him Aaron Rodgers receivers, and we can still score 30 a game. But what doesn't make sense, Choppy, is leaving him with this group. And we'll see how long. We'll see Gallup's return or if they pick up a veteran. Why would you leave him with this group if you don't believe he can just carry all of these mediocre to below average players outside of CeeDee Lamb? I cannot believe that the Cowboys would be petty to say, you wanted the money. Here you go.
Yeah, they're not petty. Jared doesn't have time for a bad time.
I just can't believe. I would love to. I mean, it's an amazing conspiracy theory. You would have to believe that Jerry and Stephen Jones are heading into this year, and the plan was, hey man, let's expose this guy. He held the gun to our head. We lost a negotiation. We know he's overpaid. Here, you think you can do it? You want that $40 million responsibility? Go out there. And we'll watch it blow up in your face. I cannot believe that Jerry or Steven are that twisted, petty, and shallow. But what they're currently surrounding him with also doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, I agree, but I do think we are losing sight here. They lost 869 yards in Amari Cooper. They didn't lose DeAndre Hopkins in his prime. They drafted this was the plan. They drafted CD to get rid of Amari.
Yes.
That was always the plan. And as the fan text points out.
All right, man, before we go into details, what year was CeeDee Lamb drafted, right? 2020, right? What year was the Amari Cooper extension granted, right? Granted, as I said on my last live stream, the caller called in, and shout out to him, man. He's from SoCal, and we had a great debate about, quarterbacks. And one of the things that I want you guys to understand, and I'm not being conspiracy law here, any other teams add to their number one quarterback. They don't take away. And the Cowboys tend to take away. This, by chance, go all the way back to T.O. with Tony Romo, and that was a whole different dynamic. I was watching T.O. and Shay Sharp, have their podcast, and it was a while back. And T.O. said that he had got a call from his agent to meet Jerry Jones in this meeting, in his meeting room. And T.O., remember, he just signed his extension, right? How much better would this team be if they would have held on to T.O. up until the time we had Dez Bryant, right? And I know that a lot of people would say, hey, man, there have been too much confusion, right? But if you the head coach, you should know how to manage those personalities. It's not about whether or not it can fit or not. It's about how you can manage the skill set that you have, because we've seen other quarterbacks throughout the NFL get a quote-unquote troubled guy, and all of a sudden he get his act right together, and they go all the way on to win the Super Bowl, a la the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a while back, right? Teams try to put weapons around their star-studded quarterbacks, not take away. People fail to realize the long list of excuses for Justin Herbert not making it to the playoff in his second year was not granted for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. One being, you had a 4th-round draft pick out of Dak Prescott in his second year, and the NFL screwed around with Ezekiel Elliott, and you took away 6 games from that. That destroys any continuity, and you guys can't sit here and beat down this table and say the Cowboys would have been still 9-7 if Ezekiel Elliott played those 6 games. Right? You can't sit here and say that Dak Prescott wouldn't have developed a little bit more if Ezekiel Elliott would have been able to play those 6 games. Maybe, just maybe, the psyche and the continuity would have caught fire, and you would have had back-to-back playoff thoughts with this, you see. So what a lot of people do, they dismiss all of that, right? Just like I said with Peyton Manning, who came into the league blessed beyond measures, right? He threw the league's most interceptions, I believe, in his first year. But he was blessed with Marvin Harrison, right? A Marshall Faulk, an all-studded offensive line. I'm not even talking about defense. We're just talking about just the offense in general. Because even if we want to bring in defense, we can literally argue that the Cowboys defense haven't been this defense that everybody feared. We had hot moments, but we never could stop the run. Really, right? It was always mixes and matches, move this piece and add that piece around. But what people are expecting from Dak Prescott is beyond, right? And I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is faultless. He got a lot of woes. He got a lot of issues. But what people tend to do is that they will look at other quarterbacks throughout the NFL, like even Matt Ryan. He came into the league with Julio, right? He came into the league with a high-powered impressions of a young offense that should be able to hit the ground rolling with Gonzalez and all of those other boys who eventually came over there for that team. So, but a lot of people dismiss all of that and say, look at Dak Prescott. He had Dez Bryant. And Dez Bryant can't find a job since he left the Cowboys, right? They don't even bring him in for a cup of coffee. The Saints tried. The Baltimore Ravens tried. But he can't even find a job, right? So that's not comparable to Keenan Allen. If Keenan Allen leave the Chargers tomorrow, he will have a job by tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. And that's why I can't wait to see Pat Mahomes without Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that he's not Pat Mahomes without him, but I know for sure he won't have that ring if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill in that Super Bowl. Catching that unbelievable catch. Took the top off of the 49ers. Shout out to him, though. You know, I would rather for the Chiefs to win 10 more Super Bowls versus the 49ers winning another one. Right? We've seen even the Cincinnati Bengals crafted and say, you know, we're going to give our quarterback Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? That's what his boy in college. I can go on and on. I can do this for hours, right? Name me another quarterback. I can name you the moves that they put in place for said quarterback. Not waiting to his third year ever to finally give him some weapons that you scoff at that, right? They waited to this man's third year. And for anybody who have any kickback on it, let me know what Kyler Murray looked like without DeAndre Hopkins, by the way. Matthew Stafford and Megatron. Yeah, Pitts. And he couldn't get it done, right? Shoot. And to really look into this Cowboy Nation, hear me out. The Super Bowl that we just witnessed. I'm speaking a lot of facts to you guys today. The Super Bowl that we just witnessed would not have been possible for Matthew Stafford if they didn't make those moves of going out there getting Odell Beckham, who, when you look at the stat lines of everything in that Super Bowl, shoot, he was on fire for that first quarter until he snapped up everything. They put weapons around him. And even if you really dissect everything, Matthew Stafford, the league leader in INTs, would not lift that Lombardi trophy up if he didn't have Aaron Donald on the opposite side, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. You can literally say these things right here, that there's nobody that can out-debate me on this, and I can stand tall. That Von Miller, even on his slide, he had 12 sacks, but Von Miller was still known as one of the fiercest defensive edge / linebackers in the NFL. To add in the fact that Aaron Donald, by chance, been one of the best not by chance, been one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League in the last 30 years. And Jalen Ramsey is not that far, even though I truly believe Jalen Ramsey fell into some good graces, right? They had over 3 players on that LA Rams team to have north of 60 pressures applied to the quarterback. To contextualize all of that, the Cowboys only had one, and his name is Michael Parsons, to get over 60 pressures. Juxtaposed to the LA Rams got over 3. How you think that's going to make your DBs play? And Chase did torch Ramsey, right? But Ramsey, if you were to do a draft situation all over again, Ramsey in 2022 would be a top 5 player, maybe top 6 or 7 at worst. There's not many teams that will pass up on Jalen Ramsey. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let's listen to more of this.
They spent a 1, a 3, a 3 at wide receiver, and a 1, a 3 at running back, and they just tagged their tight end.
And don't even talk about the line.
Yeah. They have a massive investment in their offense. The fact that some people are thinking they have not invested in the offense is lunacy. Luna. Okay? They have massively invested in this offense. This is still a top 12 receiving core. Maybe top 10 when they're healthy.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is a better receiving core than Aaron Rodgers has had in a while. Now, they don't have somebody as good as Devontae Adams, but, he had, a kid and Lazard and Valdez Scantling? Who has been Patrick Mahomes' number 2 wide receiver?
I'm going to let them finish, though. I'm going to let them finish.
Hardman?
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins? The Cowboys have invested just fine at the position. Just because they got rid of Amari. I didn't like the fact they got rid of Amari. But the market dictated that he was worth a 6th-round pick.
Hey, I'm not finna go into details of what Amari got versus, I think, a Parker or anybody else in a trade scenario. Now, granted, the Cowboys, he said the market. Well, here's how the market works. If I destroy my own product and then I put it out there for someone to get, 9 times out of 10, the market will say that. The Cowboys allowed the smear campaign to go on with Amari Cooper. And people got ears close to the ground can say, man, we already know your intentions is to get rid of him based upon the beat writers, based upon the information that you allow in-house to leak out. So therefore, I'm not finna give you a 1st or a 2nd round draft pick, right? Because one can argue that when the Cowboys, what the Cowboys spent to get Amari Cooper, it was a 1st round draft pick, right? And if we can contextualize the numbers that he did here versus what he did at the Raiders, one can say that his numbers still increased every year here versus there. So the value still for a wide receiver less than 27 years of age, I think he's 26, streams everything and anything of minimum of a 3rd round draft pick at least. And if you can really hold teams' feet to the fire, you can squeeze out a 2nd. But you mean to tell me that a wide receiver that presented more productions since 2018, that his market value decreased versus increase or versus staying the same? Come on, man. I got land on the moon. If you guys truly believe that Amari Cooper was only warranted a 5th round draft pick. Come on, man. Nobody, look, Greg Berry, you're right. Nobody wanted Cooper. After the own organization smeared him, right? Come on. That just, look, and I love the Cowboys. Please don't come after me, Cowboys PR. Because y'all know to do this once I start speaking too much truth. But what I'm saying is, those are the facts. Those are the facts. I digress.
And, it's 2.5 years in or 2 years and a preseason game in, and those are failing grades for the most part.
Bobby, your
all right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share that was the end of that one. And I want you guys to understand this. This is me not fighting with our own, right? This is me not fighting with all of this. This is me just trying to give you guys my thoughts of it. And that's the link right there. Go check out my guys 105.3 The Fan, and you can go through everything about what they just said about that topic. Now, the Cowboys. We talked about penalties. We talked about, are the Cowboys setting Dak Prescott up for failure? I truly believe that the Cowboys front office just believe in their own philosophy. They like to buy low and they like to stay low. Not buy low, sell high, right? They like to go into these deals and say, okay, we'll bring in a guy but he got to be within the price range where we feel comfortable. Oh, and we'll go a little further. Here we go. We trust our drafting philosophy, which there's nothing wrong with it. Are the Cowboys running this thing totally left? No. I give them credit where credit is due. They can scout, they can find guys, but here is the 1,000 truth about this. When you have lack of experience, you still got to go. There's no shortcut to success. You still got to go through the growing pains. The trophy is there. The award is there. But it's not going to be given to you until you understand that you still got to be the apprentice first, right? You still got to crawl before you walk. Well, some people walk straight up out of the womb, but you still got to crawl. Sometimes in life, the reality is such. That's just how it goes. There's no shortcuts around this. Chris 214, appreciate you for the donation. I hate when outsiders think they know it all about the Cowboys because of the media outlets. And we all know how the media is. Outsiders think they are experts. Shout out to Chris 214. And there's no shortcuts to success. And the reality of it, Cowboy Nation, that this team been seeking said shortcut, right? They looked at it and said it would be clever for us to elevate Kellen Moore, right, to being the quarterback coach. No, let me go all the way back to being on this team, the quarterback coach, and now he's thrusted to being the offensive coordinator. And we as Cowboy fans, you have to understand that the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl with a rookie offensive coordinator or a second-year offensive coordinator would be damn near impossible because there are still things that he just don't know. But I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything. I'm just being realistic with this, and we can still have our hopes. And that's why I always said when all my videos, he can catch fire. He can catch fire. These are the things that he do well at. We need to have somebody else to step it up. And you got to be really pressing to know that you drafted a quarterback in the 4th round, right? Hear me out. Put that butter knife down. You drafted a quarterback in the 4th round, right? And expect him to just 3 years removed to know everything. And then you add to a guy that was on the team with him to be his mentor, his coach. That's difficult, baby. That's difficult. That is straight up difficult to do. When nobody else, nobody in the National Football League do these type of things. Nobody. It makes no sense of how someone can be as intelligent as they are in the 3rd grade or the 4th grade to say, you know what? I'm going to now put you in a position that you can take care of everything that 11th grader or 12th grader can do because you're smart. Yeah, the intelligence level is still there, but she or he got to gain time to get to the 11th to the 12th grade. It's called life. This past draft, I was mystified that we did not use some of the 9 picks to move up for a higher tier wide receiver prospect. No disrespect to Tolbert. They are undermined Dak at wide receiver. Yeah, undermined Dak at wide receiver. Yeah, and we see some of that. Our biggest hope for Jalen Tolbert, and appreciate you for the $10 there, Ken Hart. It's mystified altogether that I truly like Jalen Tolbert. This is no fault at Jalen Tolbert. I think the world of him, but we seen in preseason 1 the ball right on the numbers from Cooper Rush, and he's playing volleyball with it. Crucial drop, right? But we'll be a fool to cast him out, right? To cast aspersions only on him because he dropped that pass. This is not South Alabama, baby. This is a professional football league. Look, that linebacker was coming to take his head off. I can't make this stuff up. From the 757, you're live. Oh, well, you was live. All right, man, I'm going to open up the phone lines all together, man. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. If one of the mods or someone can put the number down below, and I'll pin it to the top of my YouTube page, and we get the show on and rocking. But we have to understand. Shout out to you, Choctaw, Montana, 808. Appreciate you, fam. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Shout out to you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this team and being one of the mods that regulate everything. I appreciate you so much, Sadiq. And before I go a little bit further, I almost forgot to give credit to who's the sponsors for this video today. Let's listen in.
Let the Cowboys Experience introduce you to a whole new way to enjoy a Cowboys football weekend. Experience the ultimate Cowboys player and fan event at Toyota Music Factory on the Texas Lottery Plaza, making lasting memories by booking at cowboysexperience.com today.
No doubt, man. That is 817-888-1726. That's the hotline for your mind. We will have the ultimate tailgate party. Yes, it's a party, and it will be out there at this particular location. Please feel free to call us. Shout out to Toto's Medical. They supporting this channel as well, and I really appreciate everybody that's listening in from the Cowboys Experience side. We are live there on Facebook. Really appreciate you guys. And shout out to you, Jay Lombardi. Appreciate you. Law, that was KM trying to call in and hung up. You know, let's Kellen Moore. Look, I'm going to say this once again. I think the world of Kellen Moore. I think that this offense could still be a top 5 offense. I truly look at his creativity. Here it is on pass route concepts. It's pretty nice when it's pretty much a understandable defense, right? He can come up with some unique plays. I do like that aspect, but putting it all together, those are things that even Kellen Moore admitted. I need to work on that. I'm going through growing pains. There are things that he's still uncovering. He's still trying to learn. Let me get right here. From the 908, you're live.
Yeah, somebody said something about Jalen Tolbert about could have went higher. I feel like, we had a number 1 wide receiver, and we didn't use him properly. I feel like we just need decent wide receivers just to do their job because, they're not really running no real routes anyway. 5 and outs, hooks, screens.
Yeah.
Do you really need a number 1 to do that?
Well, on paper, CeeDee Lamb is your number 1 wide receiver, right? On paper, right? And the way this offense works, is wide receiver by committee. One of the things that Kellen Moore said that he needed to work on is focusing in on one person, not multiple. And we'll find out this year, going into his 4th year, if he can focus in on one and use others as decoys. But that's the area right now that we are at. So the Cowboys, by not giving him help, I think that they are talking about, will the Cowboys go out there and get a more productive wide receiver that was on the market? And they believe that the Cowboys truly believe in their philosophy with Jalen Tolbert and as well as with Dennis Houston, etc.
Yeah, I just feel like when we had, number 1, he wasn't really running no real routes.
Oh, you're talking about Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, it's like you giving him basic high school and college routes. When you kind of running about 10 plays on offense, passing-wise,
right,
it ain't that hard for the defense to figure out what you're trying to do. And I feel like we saw that in the 49ers game.
Right,
you know,
true
like,
that.
It's almost like they know what's coming. And defensive-wise, I feel like that secondary, we got to do something about that. It just wasn't looking too good.
You know, in the cover three or in the cover three, you got to have a safety that can cover some grass, and your DBs, the way they looking at this particular style of defense. Of course, they're gonna play man to man. When you play man to man, you're gonna get beat. But the whole point of it is, can your front four deliver pressure? So my biggest takeaway from this preseason game, the first one, they did a decent job in the first quarter, right? They got things got behind them in the second quarter, but they rallied back in the third and the fourth quarter. They didn't allow single points in the third and the fourth quarter. Didn't allow a single point in the first quarter. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the DBs.
I mean, I guess that's to be determined once the season starts. But I did like the defensive line,
right?
Run defense. You know, the linebackers. I feel like that's going to be, we want to be fearless on the defensive side pertaining to the run defense and pass rush. But the secondary, I feel like they need to step it up a little bit. But that's all I wanted to say.
Hey, you gotta like D-Ron Blando out of that secondary group, right?
Yeah, I just want to see more of them. You know,
next week, I'm looking for him to marry what he did the first week, and this time I'm gonna hold him even more accountable. When the ball hit his hand, he got to take that interception. So if he can match that up even more, then we got a solid deal out of that, right? We got a Jordan Lewis replacement or Anthony Brown down the line replacement for sure. If he continue, go ahead, talk to me.
Damn, what's the other safety? I think his number was number 6. Is it Wilson?
Well, you got they call him Donovan Wilson.
Yeah.
Donovan Wilson.
Like he kind of disappeared. He
didn't play at all in the preseason game, game one.
No, I'm talking about like last year wise, because he was coming up. You know, he was looking good. It just,
Blame J-Ron Kearse, man. J-Ron Kearse, he had banged his knee. Donovan Wilson banged his knee. J-Ron Kearse got in there and never gave it back.
Yeah, because I thought Wilson would be Kearse right now.
Nah, man, J-Ron Kearse, man, he Wilson supposed to been Kearse, but Kearse never gave it back. You know, he took the opportunity and said, "It's mine now, and I'm not finna lose it." And that's a good trade-off. In my opinion, that's a good trade-off, man. Oh, my goodness, man. But I heard reports that Kearse may not play this preseason game, and Donovan Wilson got a shot. So if Donovan Wilson can go guns a-blazing, it could be a situation whereas, shoot, Kearse going to try to figure out a way to get back in there then. Dono, that's his nickname. Appreciate you, Dramatic. Yeah.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, appreciate you. Yeah. So, Dono, that's what his nickname. I try to call him another name, but it was a good call from him, man. Let me give him. But you guys get what I'm saying, though. I want people like J-Ron Kearse to take the opportunity and not give it back. And then Donovan Wilson was on the outside looking in because he missed the voluntary, meeting, and it was a situation where you got a new defensive staff, and they was like, all right, well, is he all about this, right? And then he banged his knee. And then at that time last year, you had DeMonte KZ, who already knew Dan Quinn, who already knew the philosophy of what Joe Witt Jr. and Al Harris was trying to implement. That shoot, DeMonte KZ didn't give his spot back to Donovan Wilson. So you had sparingly Donovan Wilson last year. So I hope that Donovan Wilson or Dono is out of the doghouse, but we'll find out for the 2022 season of what he looked like. From my guy, the movie star, the 316, you in the mix?
Oh, what's going on, Law, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Just want to tap in with you on a couple of things. First of all, answer me this: how many starters played in the game?
Man. Oh my gosh, man. Maybe Gallimore, maybe Tristan Hill.
Okay, so and was any
Tyler
of those
Smith?
penalties on the starters?
Tyler Smith, if he's going to be the starter, he should be the starter, right? But I see where you're
But he
going
wasn't
at
a
with
starter
this.
last year.
Yeah. 20 starters were out, according to Dramatic. Yeah.
Okay, so 20 starters was out.
Shout out to Dre.
So,
Yeah.
so the penalties that we got in that game was basically rookie mistakes for the most part.
True.
People being hyped.
True.
So why are we making the big fuss and trying to compare a preseason game to a regular season?
But you know how it goes when the four-ladder network. Let me see if I can pull up my guy, man. The four-ladder network, when they start to talk about it, everybody else, it's kind of like hyperbolic, man. Everybody else jumps on it, right? Because those are things that a lot of people, those are like touching points from the last game that we saw, 14 penalties, right? So there's a lot of hot topics. So hot topics equates or equals clickbaits. And then when you start to look at everything, Mike McCarthy, from what we were seeing last year, the team leading the NFL in penalties, it falls all up under that umbrella of Mike McCarthy and not holding these guys accountable, which I agree to the fact that, hey, if you the head coach, heavy is the crown. It's your responsibility.
Right.
Right?
Right. But all I'm saying is it's the first preseason game.
It's the first preseason game, yeah.
That's what I want everyone to keep in context. It's the first preseason game.
Right.
Now, the third preseason game, if it's still going on, then by all means, carry on what you're talking about today.
True.
Okay, but I mean, you have to know what you got to work on first.
Big facts.
And I mean, that's really it.
Mm.
And then, I mean, added to that, what's your thoughts on what Michael Irvin said?
What did he say? I didn't get a chance to hear that.
Okay. I have to find the clip, but they basically, he's the only one that's jumping out there basically saying Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, because what he did was he went back and compared the games last year and was like, okay, if you erase these penalties, the Cowboys looking at chasing the Dolphins.
Okay.
Okay, now, granted, we all know Mike he bleeds silver and blue.
Right.
And he was probably joking,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a couple of those shows was trying to attack him like Mike lost his mind and, he needed to get off the stuff.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, if he's saying that the Cowboys, going to the Super Bowl, we got a third of the Cowboy Nation every year saying that we going to the Super Bowl. But if we do clean up some of these penalties, let me ask you this. Let me flip it. Without the 14 penalties, do we win or do we beat the 49ers without those 14 penalties?
Absolutely.
So there goes Michael Irvin assessment there. So, if the Cowboys beat the 49ers last year and they didn't have those 14 penalties, because CeeDee Lamb did catch a nice ball for 33 yards. And
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes. And we look back, there was cloth out there because of Connor Williams. Shout out to Michael Irvin. If anybody got that clip, DM me that clip on Instagram so I can pull it over and I'll play that audio, man. I appreciate you, fam.
Already, man. I think I'm on my way down that way, so I'm gonna touch base with you.
No doubt, man. Hit me up, fam.
All right, it's on. Cowboy Nation, let them hang. We in there.
Let them hang, baby. Appreciate you, man. Deon Day, man. Appreciate you, man. That's the movie star, man. Check out his stuff on Tubi TV. And I'm telling you guys, Unsurety, I haven't seen that movie yet, but that PP Long Gone, man, shoot. Y'all need to check that out, man. All right, man. So y'all said, look, if my guy Jay Versick, or even if you guys got that clip, put it in my Twitter DM and I'm gonna pull it up and play it. Just let me know, like, Law, I send you that clip, man, so I can listen to what the playmaker had to say. Next we got Nick. You're live. Hold on, Nick. Hold on. Now you're live. Nick from the 540, man. You're live, man. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
What you doing? How you doing, brother?
Well, man, I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, man. You know, I had to check back in, man, as we get closer to the season, man. I'm starting to get excited. Those Jenners coming back. You know how it is.
Yeah, I already know.
But look, man, I wanted to talk about the preseason game a little bit. I mean, honestly, man, of course no starters played, but I mean, it was no excuse for Denver. I mean, Denver still came out and looked the way they looked.
Right.
So, I mean, with any preseason game, there's always stuff you can take away.
Did they look good in the first quarter?
Listen, the front seven and the front four, the way those guys was able to push those linemen back and get a nice rush. And you've seen what Gallimore did. I mean, he just came through and burst through on that one play. It was like a tackle for loss for about 4 or 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was my thing that I probably liked the most. Is the defense looked like they was ready to play, and I mean
Right.
that wasn't not even half of the starters was in there, and they looked like they was ready to play on the front four though. And I'm talking about front four, front seven. But
did Nashawn Wright look good until he got that flag?
I was just about to get into it, man. So
Yeah.
let me just start with Kelvin Joseph, man. Kelvin Joseph, man, he need to come holler at me, man. Me and him need to go to DBU. We need to sit down and see if he's serious about it, man, because they're not going to, to me, I don't feel like we're going to be able to count on him. You know what I'm saying? If a guy goes down or with extended steps, I mean, I don't know. Maybe those off-field issues, still on his mind. He's not focused. I don't know, but I didn't really like what I seen from him, at all. But hey, I mean, like you said, maybe he goes in the next preseason game with a clean slate. But
DBs, now, Nick, you know about the DBs, man. It's a situation with confidence, and if they don't truly believe in themselves and trust themselves that they got the right to jump routes, shoot.
Exactly, and I like that what you brought up. We always talking about corners with the last dude. When playing man, you're gonna, what I'm saying, it's just one-on-one, and that receiver can run any route tree. You have no idea, unless you are, a great anticipator guesser. So, you're gonna give up separation, in man. But I think honestly, us running man with our starters, with our starting corners, I think we will do all right. Just because I think I'm feeling a lot better about our front four and our front seven and their ability to get to the quarterback. I mean, Micah is a given. But, I hope when D-Law gets out there and starts getting going, hopefully he backs up his talk that he was talking this all season.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can rush, you're going to make your back end is going to look better. It's going to cover up a lot of holes.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully if they work together like that. But like I said, man, if AB go down or J. Lou go down and my man Joseph got to come in, man, I just hope he's ready, man. I don't know. I just didn't really like that. But Nashawn Wright, he was okay. I like his aggressiveness. He's a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? He's a little bit more aggressive to me than Kelvin Joseph.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like his game, man. He's been showing up in camp. He grabbed a couple interceptions, I think, in camp. So, I mean, I'm cool with him. But like I said, Kelvin Joseph, man, I don't know. That let me down because I had high hopes for him, man. I followed him a lot out of college, so.
Yeah. Do you follow his music though? Do you follow his music? I just want to know, man. Let me know. Just be 100, man. You like his music?
Listen, man. I don't even think I may even heard maybe like 10 seconds of a verse from his. So I didn't hear none of the full tracks, anything like that.
Okay.
I don't really like to focus on them guys off-field stuff.
Off-field stuff. Okay, good. Yeah.
I hate when they, what I'm saying, you trying to take this serious when you got this going on, but hey. That's neither here nor there, like you would say. But nah, man. And then going on to the trade talks, they talk about Raekwon Smith, and I like what you said about it. We know Steven's, temperament, man. So there's no reason for anybody to get excited about anything. of course, to me, it makes sense. To me, it makes a lot of sense because that takes off the snaps from LVE, and we don't know what necessarily we're gonna get from Barr. We don't know if he's a starter linebacker playing more than 50% of the snaps. We don't know that yet. We'll have to see him get on field and his conditioning and whatsoever. But man, we got the space, man. A dude like Roquan Smith to me would be a beautiful addition. And like you said, Michael Parsons, that's not gonna necessarily mean he's gonna play on the end or just rush hand and dirt every position. I mean every down and play, but that's what you want, though. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, that's what I want. I want him. Your job is to get into that backfield every play. We don't need you in pass coverage because by the time you get into the backfield, the guys going to do their job in the back end. So that's just how I look at it in terms of that. But no, man, I'm getting a little bit more excited as the season comes on. I know
excited with it, man.
A lot of factors being down there at the beginning, man. But I like our direction, and then the run game on offense. Listen, I'm feeling really good. I know my man Tyler Smith got called with a couple BS holdings. Well, one of them to me was BS. But I mean, if we can establish that run game from the jump on teams, I mean, that's going to be a big thing. You know, that's going to help out the receivers. That's going to help out everybody in general. So I don't know, man. What you tell me? What's your thoughts, man? How you looking after this first piece of the game?
Well, I'm going to answer that off air, man. I appreciate you so much, Nick, though. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Good call for you, man.
Take care, brother.
Let me tell you something. Nick brought up some great points, man. I truly believe that this DBs, you know, I'm a DB guy. I truly believe that the DBs are okay. I think the pressure will be there. If we can finally stop the run, the Denver Broncos, when they try to run the ball or what have you, they only average 1.8 yards per rush. I can live with that, right? We all can live with that when they try to run the ball. So they got away with some questionable PI calls or what have you, holding calls and things like that, or none that was called. And I'm not saying that the aficionados had an axe to grind with Dak Prescott or because Dak Prescott said credit to them. I'm not finna say that. But what I can tell you, guys, that the Denver Broncos didn't score in the first quarter and they didn't score in the second. Well, they didn't score in the third and the fourth quarter. They killed us in the second quarter. They got 17 points out of one quarter. And we said, okay, we'll match you with the penalties. But to answer this man's question, I truly believe that the running situation was a whole lot better than what people allude that it wasn't, right? We had multiple guys that had over 40 yards rushing, right? And collectively, Malik Davis averaged 6.4 yards. That means they getting pushed. When you got a running back that's averaging 6.4 yards, your O-line is getting the push. So tonight we're going to dive deep into that on the final word. But I got a hard hitter in the house, man. Got a hard hitter next up. But before I let the hard hitter in, let me get my super chat out the way, man. I really appreciate people for donating and giving these things for the nation. Lavelle says, keep up the good work, Law. Love the show. I love it. I love it that you love it. Baby. And Action, I want to say Jackson, but Powell. We should sign offensive tackle Fisher and Sue. I think you should bring them in for a cup of coffee. It should be one of those breaking news. You bring them in for a trial. That will wake up everybody's. You know, bring them in for a tryout. That would literally have everybody looking around like, man, they go run to the locker room, see if that name's still on the chart there. But, yeah, that should bring in a lot of attention. Sue is a situation and a half because we don't really know how this defensive front look, but I can tell you they still doing their evaluation, and before they bring in Sue, they trying to last to week one, and after week one, you can bring Sue in, and if I'm looking from the Stephen Jones mindset and psyche, there's no guarantee to veteran salary after week one, so he probably trying to wait to that. But Action says, as much as Deshaun Jackson torched us, sign him, laugh out loud. Yeah, that would be a crazy signing for Deshaun Jackson to be on the Cowboys. It would look crazy because he would play for every single NFC East team minus the Giants. But next we got my guy, hard hitter, Georgia chapter,
Yo,
man. What's
what's
good
up,
with you, man? What's good with you? Talk to me, man.
Look at here, man. I'll be in Texas next Friday, baby.
Next Friday, do we have a game? What's next Friday?
Yes, sir. 7:00.
The Seahawks. Okay. I might bump into you then, if that's the case.
Oh yeah, you know it's gonna start at lot 9, then we going on in there.
Lot 9. Okay, for your mind. Oh, let me ask you this: what time does the game play this weekend? You know, I forgot to even
I
check.
think it's 8.
8.
If I ain't mistaken.
Another night game.
Yeah, it's another. I think they got all our games.
Yeah, they try to be slick and give us their prime slot so they get some ratings, man.
Yeah, you know we're gonna bring them ratings. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
But yo, Law, this is
Talk
what
to
I
me.
wanted to say about the preseason game. I think some of those penalties that we got
Right.
was because some of our guys were trying to be aggressive. They heard the talk about how soft we were.
Right.
So I think some of that was just teeing off, like a couple of those personal fouls.
Right.
I think it was more of a statement that they were tired of people saying how soft they were. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a mixture, but the 9 pre-snap penalties, maybe if you look at the 9 and say, okay, the offsides of them just trying to make a play, right? You know, and then you really can't blame a young guy just trying to make his name be heard, jump a snap or what have you. Maybe, just maybe. But then if you really add in the fact that we were the most penalized team, and then you add in the fact we led the league last year in penalties, and then the media, they got to talk about something. Even I did the halftime for Bleacher Report, and I was saying that, hey, it shows a great sign of the team being undisciplined. So I get all of that. But when you go back and watch it over again, you kind of say to yourself, all right, cool. These guys are just trying to make plays on the ball. But unfortunately, they're going to get judged triple time because they got the star on the side of their helmet.
Yeah, that's a fact, and it's a shame, but we know who we are, so we just got to deal with that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the first quarter we showed that we are tough and
Right.
that we were ready to go.
Right.
But after that, it kind of like it was like whatever.
Yeah, and we look back at it, we moved the ball even on the offensive side. It was just a boneheaded play by Cooper Rush. He had no pressure. He threw he threw a out route that was underthrown on that pass. I can't believe he did it, and it was picked off. But we were right in scoring opportunity. It could have been a whole different situation for us if we continued to march down the field with that.
Yeah, but that was my last point. I think some of our second quarter and third quarter was blaming Cooper Rush for just being sorry. Sometimes you just give up, man. I can't play with this dude no more. I'm going out there busting my butt, and he's doing stupid stuff like this. I'm done.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. Some of the guys, they did drop some opportunities. Like I was upset at Jalen Tolbert, and when I was calling the game live, I was blaming Cooper Rush, but when it was really, when I look back at it, it was Jalen Tolbert's fault.
Yeah, but look at Law. He heard them footsteps.
Oh yeah, hey, this wasn't South Alabama, you know.
Yeah. He didn't want to catch that ball.
Yeah. So we'll find out, man, if the young kid got some cojones next time to catch that ball across the middle, man, knowing that he's going to get hit, because if not, he gonna have to get some milk. You already know how it goes, fam.
Yeah. But it was good talking to you, man. I really just wanted to see if you was gonna be at the game next Friday. That's all.
Okay, no doubt, man. I might bump into you though, man. For real.
Okay, man. You take it easy. I'll be checking in all week.
No doubt. Salute.
All right, brother.
Yeah. So that's Georgia chapter, hard hitters, man. The hitters, I love it, man. And hey, you can flex all you want, but if you can't catch that ball across the middle,
he needs some milk.
You better get some milk, man. Coach AJ, you're live.
What up, Mr. Law?
Nothing to it. Nothing to it, just chilling.
At the actual game in Denver.
Oh, you was there. Yeah, that's right. You was there at the game.
I went to the game. Hey, man, that first one on right, that wasn't no damn PI, no nothing. That dude, he made a great break. He made a great break on the ball. That should have been one for him.
Right.
To keep his confidence going. And then that flag, the bull sugar on Mr. Smith, that's bull sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That first one, boy, that was you dreaming of a pancake, and he got him one.
Yeah.
And then you call that bull sugar. That holding, that's what we're talking about. That first holding call.
Mm-hmm.
Even your guy from the NFL said, "I don't see it."
I don't see it.
You know, you don't see it because it's not there. You're teaching guys to stay in tight, keep their hands engaged on the guy at all times. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't help it if your man ain't strong enough to stay on his feet. I'm going to plant it.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was I see a lot better game than most people. I thought our O-line played a lot better. Now, I'll have to say our left tackle didn't play well for most of the night because he was on skates. But actually the kid from Mexico played a lot better than
Isaac.
Isaac played really well, and our first round pick was, man, he looked like he had road grade on his mind. He was picking people up and just body slamming them.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, this dude played well, but nobody talked about it. They all keep talking about, well, he got 2 holding penalties. The first one, bull sugar.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, you can maybe throw that one, but that's also on Cooper Rush because he's holding the ball too long on that second one.
Yep.
But you can't be a Cowboy and get a 6-second pass attempt.
No, you can't. You can't.
You got to throw the ball quicker. And yeah, Dak might have set us up for get a little even time. We can't call the game that bad, but we sure gonna help not give you any breaks.
They sure ain't this year, man. You already know. Credit to them. You know, he can't say that.
Yeah.
And another thing,
he shouldn't have said it.
He shouldn't have said it. He should have just said, "Man, that's terrible." He that was his opportunity to win them back.
Yeah.
And the poor officials,
honestly, you and I both know how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
We both played ball at a different level. If you go into a neighboring town, you don't start off by even pretending to do the moon.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build them in, and then you whoop them, and then they turn the lights off at half because you're doing something to them that their mama be more upset about. You know, giving them one that, I mean, Dak's got to be smarter. That's why the Cowboys signed him, because he's politically correct. Well, he wasn't too correct that day.
He was pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. The game in Denver, all their fans were talking about how we were just going to get punked. Actuality, we didn't get punked. Our running game was way better than theirs.
Yep.
Now, I know their guys are sitting on the bench. They're 2 studs.
Yeah.
But our 2 studs are sitting on the bench. TT wasn't playing, and neither was Zeke. So it was even Stevens. And you averaged right at 6 yards a carry. So that was a hell of a night for the running game.
Wow.
Cooper Rush, man, he was dancing. I thought his name was MJ for a while.
What happened on that interception? You was live, and you was live there, so you got a chance to see it from a different angle. What happened on it when we drove the ball down the field and he threw it?
First of all, it's 4th down and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't we just run the ball to test your O-line? And then second of all, he never stepped up into his throw. He was worried about getting hit. I mean, he didn't step into it. I thought he was Randall Cunningham or something, the way he was lunching.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, it was. I saw more good than bad.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna say from that game. In actuality, I wasn't even worried about boss man fat when you break it all down. Yes, our 2 backup cornerbacks are not turning their head.
Yeah.
They're just not getting their head around. As Prime Time say, I'm trying to catch it. They're over there just running backwards, you know.
Right.
They don't know that they can get an interception by turning around. So somebody got to work on that. But I did see their DB coach Harris get up in them and tell them, "Hey, turn your head, man." That's all he was probably explaining.
Yeah.
Our third round was the Williams. He had some moments, man. He flashed in the game.
54.
But, he didn't get that many. Yeah, he didn't get that many snaps.
Okay.
So you couldn't say. But we actually kicked them all around the field if we wasn't getting all of them dumb penalties.
Let me ask you this too, since you was there. He could have been just okay. I'm gonna bench him because he's supposed to be a starter and know better. So that's Dante Fowler. A lot of people took the fact that the Cowboys announced that they benched him because of the penalty, that they cut him. Do he look like he's cuttable out there, or they gonna hold on to him?
Is that bull sugar you've been smoking?
No.
You ain't cutting him.
Right.
No,
Right.
you ain't doing no such thing. All you're doing is sending a message. We ain't cutting that man. Did you see how fast he got in on that quarterback on fourth down?
That's what I was seeing.
That automatic tell you if you release him tomorrow, I guarantee he's on an NFL roster that's probably going to be New York. And you're going to be facing him.
Yeah.
With motivation to get off. No, he looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. And Denver lost their starting wide receiver. They lost their starting linebacker, all because they had to play those guys. In the scrimmage, they had to play them on the game night, that first play for them on defense. Their guy blew up his elbow.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I was kind of happy we didn't have anybody go down. You know, I'm sorry, but the other Smith, the one that's accident prone, got peanut butter brittle stuck to his mouth. You know, that Smith.
Yeah.
I just don't see him playing the whole season.
Right.
So, but anyway, man, I just want to say all my friends rave about you up in Denver. They think you the real deal. So
man, I appreciate that, man.
Wherever you go.
Man, I'm glad I got a house in Denver then, man. If I go there, I'm like, hey, where coach people at, man?
Yeah, they think you the real deal. A couple of them want to test your beard. I say, well,
they can yank on it.
They can yank on it because I say that's the real deal.
Yeah.
So, anyway, brother, keep doing your job, and I'll keep listening. Thank you for doing a wonderful job, brother.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, Coach, man. Thank you for calling in.
All right, later.
Yes, indeed. Good guy, man. The ladies can yank on it. The fellas, man, we're gonna throw some hands if y'all come over here and try to touch my face, man. The ladies, there ain't no equal opportunity to pull on my beard. And then you can't touch it too long because the queen of the Peace Corps may see that too, and then she gonna throw them hands. So let me clarify, who can yank on it, All right, JD from D.C. says, why wasn't Mike McCarthy and Josh Ball benched? Oh, my gosh, man. Josh, man, to me, his pass pro is just terrible. His feet kind of, he don't play with good leverage, in my opinion. And his weight distribution, he got to get a little lower, and then he got to make sure that his kick slide is there and all of those things. But as far as mauling and run, shoot, when he knows it's going to be a run play, he can move some stuff out the way. It's just that his pass pro for right now, for what I can see, he's subject to the little spin move to the inside or chase into the outside. He's just terrible at that. And I'm not finna throw the baby out with the bathwater with Josh Ball too soon. We've seen crazier things to happen. Maybe, just maybe, Tamron Steele can reach out to Josh and say, hey, come hit up Duke Manyweather, man. He can teach you a few things. Maybe that's the situation. Are there any reports out there that Josh Ball been working with Duke? maybe that could be the situation for us. I got Rob, man. This next on the line from the 912. Rob, you're live.
What's going on, my man?
Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Last time you and I talked, it was your wife's birthday, man. What you do? What you do? What you do for her, man? What you did for her, man?
Hey, I told you I cooked that steak, man. And,
Okay.
Laid out camera for her. She enjoyed it. When she looked, I didn't tell her about what she looked at your show. Cause on YouTube, she looked at it. She looked at it and you said, she come in there and hugged me. Boy, you did me a favor.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about there.
You had me crying laughing when you said, man, that these dudes come up here and touch my bills and they gonna throw hands.
You gonna throw some hands. I thought about it, man.
I said, yeah, that some ladies come up there and touch your wife gonna throw some hands.
She gonna throw some hands.
Hey. But hey, look here, brother. I looked at that preseason game, man. Yeah, Cowboy fans, slow, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
Just a preseason game. And you got, let me tell you something. I drove trucks for 21 years. And the referees are like DOT. DOT could find something wrong with a brand new truck and trailer if they want to.
If they want to.
Like referees, they could call a penalty on every play. They can call holding on every play.
They can.
It's up to them they want to call the game.
Right.
Now give me that X5 music.
I got you right here. Hold on. I got you right here.
And we had the same crew that called them 14 penalties on us in that playoff game.
Yeah.
And a lot of them calls, man, look here, they was questionable. If it's a gray area in there for us to get a call or not to get one, we gonna get the call.
We gonna get the call.
Irvin was getting the other way.
Right.
They'll slide with it.
Yeah.
I seen boy we got from Ole Miss.
Sam. Yeah.
Sam come around the end and they during a tackle had him round the neck. If we'd have did that, they'd have thrown the flag for holding. I done seen them do it on Tyron Smith.
I know exactly what play you were talking about. The referee was standing right behind him, and he was coming off like this. He like, God, dog, I know exactly what play you talking about. I said, man, I guess that's not a hold.
They was calling that game. They human. They was throwing hits at us for saying shit about that playoff game.
Yeah. That's why they were smiling after every play. Flag. Yeah, they'll smile like this. Flag on number 25. You know.
Come on, man. 17 penalties, man. Come on,
man.
Come on now.
Now, some of them we do get though. Some of them we did earn. Some of them we did earn, but not 17 of them now.
And think about it like this, now. What's the whole topic on all these 4-letter networks?
Penalties.
Them penalties about the Cowboys. Long as that name Cowboys at the bottom, why they get the views for that?
Yup.
I'm telling you, man. Get that conspiracy music again, man. I'm telling you, when that sky out there. But for what I looked at the game, it's evaluation. You got to think we didn't have no game plan on defense.
Right.
You just got a bland game plan for a game that you want to just evaluate players.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the way I look at a game. I look at certain players, how they doing. I look at how this player doing. Is they flashing? Is they doing the? That's what that's all about.
Right.
The fans need to pump their brakes. Referees, you can't control what they're gonna
Man.
Even if you're doing the right thing, they throw a flag, what you going to do? Once they throw that flag, that's it. The penalty in, ain't no replay on the holding call.
No replay. You right?
So, I tell you what, we didn't get no flag on no play where it was a replay, was it?
Nah. We
Ain't no. But hey, keep doing your good work, man. Lord, you be laying down for spitting the truth, man. I keep my umbrella out when you on.
Man, you gotta pull it out, man. Rob, you gotta pull it out, cause I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna spit. But sometimes I be spitting too much, man. I be getting in trouble. Y'all don't know on the back end, I be getting in trouble, man. They be trying to get me, man.
Look at you. Hey, you ain't doing the job. You ain't getting in trouble. You getting in. Hey, I'm gonna say it like a boy. You getting in good trouble.
Good trouble, man. I appreciate you so much, Rob, man. And kiss kiss your wife for me, man.
Oh, leave me real, man. Hold for a time. Let him hang, man.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, man. Rob always, man, all year long, man. Him and all what he do for this nation, man. Just always bringing in optimism with a subtle spirit, man. And it's good. All right, what I'm gonna do here is we got the line still longer than Shaq feet. I'm gonna give you guys 5-10 more minutes. Y'all call in before I lock it down, because I'm going to lock it down after these next few callers. So call in now. I don't want to be hearing people saying, Lord, open up the lines, Lord. Open up the lines. I want to get my point out, man. Come on, man. Open up the lines. So I'm going to give y'all 5-10 minutes before I shut it down. But neither here nor there, I got my guy, JT. You're live.
What's good with it, Law?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Man, what's up with the overreactions, Law? Like, I mean, look, I understand, but like, I've been watching all these shows and like, people are like teeing off on these penalties and stuff. I'm like, bro, it's preseason, man.
Yeah.
Like, preseason is where you have mistakes and you clean them up after a while, Law. Like, that's why it's 3 weeks now, just because they cut it short, but. This is why we have preseason, man.
Big
like,
facts.
If this stuff is still happening, like week 5, 6, 7, okay, fine, I get it. But it's preseason, like it. Mm-hmm. Look, man, like these analysts on these shows, man, they gotta stop. They just gotta chill. Like it gets to a point where you're like, are any of these guys actually trying to give good opinions, or are they trying to get a laugh? Like, I'm confused, Lord.
They trying to get that laugh, man. I promise you. Or they trying to get that sensationalism, that get those 3-inch headlines and stuff all over Twitter. And that's just how it goes, man, in Instagram and beyond. That's what they trying to do, man. They're doing a good job at it, though, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing. The second thing I noticed, and I'll say this. So, there has been a lot of, because I was on your stream that day, and there was a lot of not just the analysts, but even like our fans were just teed off on the preseason game. And look, basically the only thing that I said is that, look, Tyler Smith, I really think he's going to be a good player in this league. Like he reminds me, and I don't know if I brought this up to you earlier, but he reminds me a lot of what Bruno Giacomini was for Seattle. Like the man is going to be an absolute mauler, I think. The problem is, though, and I don't know if you notice this, he does tend to keep his hands high and clenched.
He do keep
and now
high.
He's got to get out of the habit. His hands are too high. Like he's got to get to the habit of. Put your hands where the guy's jersey number is, Law. Like, if you're getting near the collar, like, they're going to call it. Like, you got to put your hands where the jersey number is, Law. Like, if you do that and you just, even if you grab there, sometimes they won't call it if your hands are lower. And even if you clench them, if they're, like, where the jersey number is, sometimes they will let it go. But if you're by the collar and just grabbing them, they're going to call it. Like, he has to keep his hands lower and unclenched to a certain degree, Law. What do you think?
Well, and he's powerful, though. And I see how the guy's feet, they go up, and he's going to have to keep his hand low. I think the second one, he did have him high, even though it was inside and the dude arm flared. And those are indicators that somebody's kind of grabbing, and his arms kind of slipped to the outside. So another thing that they're going to look at with Tyler is when the bodies hit the ground. It's not common to see the offensive lineman just tossing people out the way. So he's coming into the league without that benefit of the doubt, and you're going to see those flags regardless. So he's going to have to know when. And I used to say this back in the days, he got to know when not to beat up somebody too bad. That's just how it goes.
Right.
You can fight, because see, nowadays, man, when somebody get into a fight, you got to let them win a little bit so they won't go grab that heat, because so many people are embarrassed. So if I beat somebody up too bad, I might let them get a few licks. I don't want them to come and check me with a butter knife.
Okay. But yeah, the other thing, and this is a name that I actually thought of a little bit too, and I know he's not as big as this dude was, but do you remember Mike Upati from San Francisco?
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of him too, as far as just like that physical, like beach. Because like Mike Upati, like not only was he like pancake, but he literally was trying to like bury a dude into the turf. It felt like they would literally would put you in the ground. Like he has that mentality. The only thing is, though, with Tyler Smith, the difference is that, like, there's not, like, because remember, San Francisco had, I think, 3 first-round picks on their offensive line. So you have other guys that can sort of mask it a little bit, because and again, we have a good offensive line still, I think, but he's going to have to learn, again, how to, like, not do that as much, because he's sort of one of the only guys that's doing it to that level where he's just putting dudes in the ground. Referees are going to notice that more so if you're like the only one doing it, and you're going to start to get a bad reputation. Like that can be the issue. Like if you just keep doing that, they're going to, even on calls where it may not be like as bad, they're going to look at it and say, okay, this is the dude that basically just ground beats people, and they're going to start throwing flags.
Yeah, it's gonna be that way, man. And when you raw, you just got to go through that first year of just creating your case that you are pretty good. I think the Eagles got a guy like that years back by the name of Jordan Mailata. You heard of him? Like he was raw, he's big, he's so strong, he'll fold you up, and he was getting those kind of crazy calls, but he's going to have to survive that first year, and then after that first year, hopefully he would have created a case that, I'm just that dude, I'm just that strong guy, And hopefully that would be the situation for Tyler.
Well, and let me ask another question also. Like, do you think Zach Martin can kind of help him with that? Because Zach Martin, to me, is one of the more technically sound offensive linemen maybe that the NFL's ever seen. Like, that dude is, like, technically, like, he's pristine, man. Like, I think a guy like Zach Martin, who was basically good from the time he stepped in the league, like I think he can help him out because he came into the league, like everybody knew when he came into the league he was going to be a beast because he was one of the more highly rated prospects, not just for offensive linemen, just as far as players, like in that draft. Like I think Zach Martin can help him be like, look, when you're in the league and you're trying to like establish yourself as a great player, yeah, the physicality, okay, they need that, but let's not go like bar fight, smashing dudes in the table sort of physicality. Like let's scale it back a little bit. Still obviously try to be physical because that builds up an intimidation on the offensive line, but scale it back a little bit to where it doesn't go flagrant, if you know what I mean.
No doubt, man. You right on the money with that. And Zach Martin, one of those guys who went like 6 years without a single holding call on him. He may have some other calls, but without a single holding call, meaning that you see your man, you destroy your man. And if Zach Martin can teach Tyler Smith these little things, because it's different the way Connor Williams got beat up. Connor Williams got beat up because he didn't have power. We know that Tyler got power. We just got to make sure his feet are together and he keep those things and his elbows inside and hands inside and not flare up or not too high. And if Zach Martin can give him some teaching lessons on that, it will be a blessing for us.
Yeah, and one more question before I go. And this is going to be kind of an interesting question, but how would you feel if the Dallas Cowboys incorporated? How can I put this? Do you think that they would be good if they started incorporating like a more of a 4-2-5 defense? Not necessarily 4-2-5 all the time, just incorporated it a little bit to where you can have more like athletes on the field. Because what I'm noticing a lot in the NFL nowadays is that a lot of teams are going shotgun spread offense. And I think sometimes, like, when you have guys, especially like a team like Miami who has speed everywhere, sometimes you're going to need to mix it up a little bit on defense because you just don't have that type of speed. Yeah. And so what would you feel about having more like 5 defensive back looks out there, Law?
I think we do majority of that when we do the big nickel, just dedicating the J-Ron Curtis as that outside linebacker. And then our issue is now that Parson is such a unique tool to have out there. Do you primarily use him in the middle of the field versus closer to the LOS? So that's why I believe what we've been banging on the table for all this offseason is a legitimate Mike linebacker. I think people got straight up reservations on LVE's responsibility to hook the flat. Can he cover enough grass to capture the edge and also be the guy that can cover the middle of the field, flip his hips, and get deep? And for those type of reasonings, I think that the Cowboys still have issues with that spot because it's the area of can LVE holds it down, right? So that's why we anticipating Anthony Barr to be in this mix, as well as the rumors with Roquan Smith to be in the mix, because they know for sure if you can get a rangy coverable linebacker that's in the middle of the field, and if you want to go to that hybrid look like the 4-2-5 or what have you, or a big dime or what have you, then of course that will work good for this Cowboys team.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Law Nation, stand up, man.
And I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for calling in, JT. Good call from you.
Yep. Take care, man.
Thank you, man. That's my guy, man. I think that's the wave of the future. Oh, that's the wave of it right now, is having a team that can stop the run and nickel, right? Having a team that can stop the run and dime. And we got our butt whooped. Two teams got their butt whoop in that particular style of defense. We couldn't throw on it. The Cowboys against the 49ers, right? They played quarters defense. They had more DBs than they had big boys, right? And the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers had no answers to 6 DBs. He couldn't stop it. But the rudiment of that is to run on it. And if your team is not dedicated and sold to running, right, then those issues appear. Another thing is, Cowboy Nation, teams literally stopped blitzing Dak Prescott. That was another issue. And I believe he had a interview this year talking about, hey, teams are blitz you less. How do you figure that out? And even he said, okay, I need to really, really do this and that better. So it is what it is. Appreciate everybody. I got 757. You live?
What's going on, man?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me, Chief.
Yeah, I just want to go over a few things. Basically, as far as like the wide receiver room, man, the wide receiver room, are we still against bringing in Odell Beckham Jr. when he's healthy to run? Do you feel like that's a bad addition to our team?
With that being said, man, and I'm gonna answer this all fair, man. I think we got a little distortion here. Appreciate you though. Here's the thing. I think that this team is still evaluating their wide receivers. But the thing that really got us with this process is that you couldn't get a clear evaluation week 1 of the preseason. Dennis Houston, he flashed at us a little bit, but that's still not enough to say that, okay, he will be able to handle the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Cincinnati Bengals defense. We still in that area, right? So I think that after this game, hear me out, mark it down, write it down, Cowboy Nation. After this game, if our wide receivers don't catch the ball consistently, then the Cowboys, after some of the cuts, they're going to bring in some wide receiver. They got to. They can't sell this to us. And as much as I've been drinking some Kool-Aid, it's measured. But I can't sit back and lie to kick it to you guys, you know. So these guys still got to present something to us on a consistent level. They do. I got my guy, Uncle Charles. You live.
What's up, Lord? What's happening, man? What's up?
Nothing to it, Chief. Just chilling.
Man, like I said, man, it's a blessing every time I talk to you, brother.
I appreciate you.
Let me tell you something. And I'm gonna say this to the Cowboy Nation, and y'all listen very well. Take heed to what Law is saying. He's about one of the best guys out here with the Cowboy content, and it's been for a very long time. So, hit that like button because the man knows what he's talking about. But then you got some Cowboy contenters will feed your ego and feed you what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. And there's likes and clicks and all this. I believe in being told the truth.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go to prison, you need to give me how many years I'm gonna get in prison. Don't get around now with 2 years, and they're gonna add with no judge. Give me the whole damn number because I don't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. So y'all can go anywhere you want to go and listen to who you want to listen to. It's your right. It's your life. But I believe that Law is telling us the truth. They're gonna have to go out and get another receiver. They're gonna have to go out and maybe get 2 of them. Let me explain something to you. Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones is not going to fight Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's going to fight himself. Because there ain't no way in the hell that you can come to a press conference after that game and not talk about one thing, which is penalties. Let me explain something to you. If you still don't understand what I'm saying, let me explain this to you. Maybe you can put this in your suit. A marriage don't get bad over one day. A marriage takes time to get bad. It don't get bad on one day, whether it might be finances or some unknown entity outside the marriage to make the marriage go bad, or you just can't get along and you're arguing, you just can't get along, and you maybe need to go your own way. Yeah. A marriage don't get bad in one day. Right. It takes time for it to get bad. Just like the Dallas Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. It took time for Mike McCarthy to get bad with Green Bay, and what did they do? They let him go. They let him go. Because sometimes, y'all, life can pass you by. Some things can pass you by. Let me explain something to you. You can steal little things like bubble gum, candy, then you move up to a microwave, then you move up to a car. But at some point, you keep stealing long enough, you're going to become good at it. Just like these damn penalties. We don't got so used to doing what we're doing for so long, we're immune to it. We are immune to it. Mike McCarthy is not going to get fired by Dallas, by Jerry Jones and Steven. He's going to fire himself. Mike, I'm telling you right now, you on borrowed time. Because if you go 0-3, you ain't be able to stand it, bro. So let me say this in closing. And I'm going to talk a little life story to you real quick. I got a cousin. And, sometimes I wonder if he's in my blood because sometimes his mind ain't right. But I told him, I said, look, man, I see you having a problem with your car. You need to get you some brake pads. Because all the way up to the end, I started stopping his car with his feet. Then I go over to his house and I see 12 pairs of damn shoes against the wall and every last one of them running down to the hill. 2 days later, I'm up there eating me some cereal, looking at the news. A man done ran through 2 lights today and ran into Taco Bell. I didn't know it was him, but I should have known it was him because he wouldn't get no damn brake pads. And all of a sudden, I get a call here at the hospital. And I told him, I said, remember I told you to get some goddamn brake pads and you didn't? He said, yeah. And that's why your ass is over here? He said, yeah. This is where you need to be. And all of a sudden, they went and got his car to tow. And guess what they did? What my family did? They went and put some damn brake pads on the damn car. Why? Because he wouldn't do it. We need to address only one thing in this room today, and that's them damn penalties.
Yeah.
because law will cost us in the end, law. It's gonna cost us, baby. It's gonna. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Man, I know it. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do, Cowboy Nation. But I want the truth. The truth is that we got a left tackle, we got a ball, which he should be playing basketball, and we got an ass coach that won't address what need to be addressed. The elephant is in the room. The damn penalties, baby. Until then, I'm going to watch this train come off the tracks. I don't want to, but it's going to. So that's all I can say, player. I appreciate you.
No doubt. That's Uncle Charles, y'all, man. Oh, my gosh.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
That's the truth right there. He broke it down to a point whereas, hey, you need those brake pads on. And he cut a hole on the bottom of his car, and he was stopping it with his feet. And then he said, hey, you need some brake pads. And you go into his house and you see multiple pairs of shoes with no sole because he'd been using his shoes for a long time. He wouldn't change them out until he was forced to change them out. And it goes parallel with the Cowboys organization. Sometimes we don't do something until it's fire and brimstone, until it's fire, right? There were a third of the Cowboys nation saying, hey, this is Dak Prescott, third year ever in the National Football League. He may need a wide receiver. Nah, he's okay, man. He's rookie of the year, man. He's okay. Hey, he may need a wide receiver. Oh, man, he's okay, man. We drafted Michael Gallup. He's all right. You know, Michael Gallup can be that guy. Him and Cole Beasley. Nah, he need a wide receiver. Until the Cowboys became 3-5, that's when they said, you know what? Cowboy Nation, the third of the Cowboy Nation, those people were right. We need a wide receiver. Let's use a first-round draft pick. Don't you guys know that the following year, I can't make this stuff up. You could have used that first-round draft pick or not necessarily that first-round draft pick for these wide receivers. Don't you guys know that Deebo Samuel's in that draft? Or even if those who like A.J. Brown was in that draft, ain't they wide receivers? DK Metcalf was in that draft. I know it's hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. But if you were to take care of business earlier, you wouldn't have lost out what you had later, right? To get who you really want. So the Cowboys end up burning a first-round draft pick in 2019 because you didn't have one. And now that burnt first-round draft pick that you have, you don't have it at all. Let me blow the fire out, man. All right, so
the conference has been locked.
We're going to let all of these people speak their mind. But first on the deck is 505. You're live.
Going, Law?
Going great.
Yeah, so I have to agree with everything Uncle Charlie says. It's the penalties that's really getting us. We had a top-notch offense. We had everything going on, and it was always the penalties setting us back more and more. Even the San Fran game, we couldn't get any momentum, and everyone had kind of a feeling of doom the whole game because we couldn't get our penalties together.
No doubt.
So I like the what, but as of now, I mean, that was later, or that was before. As of now, I do like what the Cowboys have been doing. If you look at the last 3 times we drafted in the first round, we all wanted to get just specimens with attitude, you know, starting with CD.
Right.
Now we have Micah Parsons. Now we have Tyler Smith. This guy's a mauler, right? So I think that'll also help Tyrone Smith, right? He has help now. He has someone that could help him with stunts. He won't be out there all by himself as much. Maybe we'll see a lot more running to that side. Maybe we'll see Zeke running over there a lot more, but you have that taken care of with the line. So, and then Dan Quinn, everything he's been doing with this defense. I mean, we all believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that like 2 years ago, we had a really bad defense. It was cringy to watch, right?
Right.
If he can have another off season, then if he can have another off season, just finding a couple more people, right?
Right.
Joseph didn't plan up, but now we see Bland coming up, right? We see Bland, and we all think him and Joseph switch jerseys or something. That's exactly what we expected out of him.
Okay.
So, we got our defensive line. Our defensive line is probably now maybe the strongest feature on our whole team, right? I mean,
the front seven. I just have to include the entire front seven. That would have to be Parsons mixed in with Anthony Barr and his front. I think that's a whole lot better than what we had in the previous years, and it should show out there on the field. That's a great point, though.
Absolutely. Barr coming in. We're going to be seeing a lot of pass rush out of him, right? And then we have Cox in there. Van Der Esch, he might be looking to be on his way out, but the main person that I really want to see this year is Ezekiel Elliott. He's on a contract year. Are the Cowboys, are we going to try and run him in the ground and let him go in the open market? Are we going to try and let Pollard get a chance? I guess that's kind of one of my biggest questions about this year is, are we going to finally start using Pollard? He's pretty much probably our answer to our receiver questions also, right? Putting him in the slot would really help Dak a lot with his short game. So.
I think that is a situation, but going back to the point that you made about this is a contract year for Ezekiel Elliott, far as his contract, I think it's all the way to the year 2024, or it could be beyond that, 2025 or 2026. But this is the year that most of the guaranteed money is out the way. And the thing is with Ezekiel Elliott, the only way you would move on from Ezekiel Elliott is cutting him. He got a no-trade clause on his contract, and I truly believe that the Cowboys organization view Ezekiel Elliott as that guy. And as far as Tony Pollard, we've been hearing all through Cowboys organization that they brought in Tony Pollard to be that 1-2 combination, and that was since he'd been drafted here, and we have yet to see that. So that's a situation and a half that I hope that the Cowboys figure that out, but 9 times out of 10, not to be negative about it, I think that's more lip services until I see it.
So from what you're saying, Law, are you basically saying that it's the biggest thing holding us back is our coaches, especially our offensive coaches? Because that is basically a blunder, right?
Yeah.
The whole offensive line turned out to be a blunder after starting so strong.
Which, let me ask you this, based off of the way you sound with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, would you have those same reservations if Kyle Shanahan was our head coach?
You know what? I don't think so, because Ezekiel Elliott was looking great at the beginning. Now, it's also curious, why didn't they use Pollard once we knew Zeke was hurt, right? Why didn't we try and lighten his load just a little bit to make him more effective for the times he does run?
That goes back to coaching, though, man. I call it coaching malpractice, right? You got someone that's hurt and you continue to run them, and then you use those numbers. Because I'm thankful that he got 1,000 yards. That would have been back-to-back 2 seasons without him getting 1,000 yards. And then that's when they can start talking about, hey, this guy's washed and all of this. But I think that Ezekiel Elliott was able to get to 1,000 yards. But we can tell that the coaching philosophy was kind of off because the dude was hurt. And they still try to run him.
And that's fair enough. And I don't agree that Zeke is washed.
Right, I don't agree at all. Yeah.
So it's definitely worth keeping him, but even with him there, we should still be using Pollard a lot more. And it's always been a big question of why don't we?
Because we don't know how to.
They have patience with his health, that they don't think he can handle a harder load?
No, we just don't know how to. And we just don't know how to, and it goes back to experience. And it goes back to my other question. Like I said, if we had Shanahan or McVay or any of those guys, and I'm definitely not dogging Kellen Moore, but he just wasn't experienced enough to understand. that these are the things that you have to do, and you get that from experience, not just by chance. And that's unfortunately for us as Cowboy fans.
Well, that just comes with being a Cowboy fan. All we want is the Super Bowl. That's why we became Cowboy fans. It's because we didn't think mediocrity was an option. We thought it was always Super Bowls all the time. And now here we are in the dry spell.
Yeah, we in the dry spell, man. But I appreciate you, man, so much for calling in, fam.
Yep. Have a good one.
Good call from him, from the 505. And I get what he's saying, but the dry spell comes with it. You know, I don't think the Eagles, like I see Eagles fans in here. It took y'all how many years? Like 50 years, 55, 65 years or such? How many years? It took them over 50 years to win that first Super Bowl in 2017. I'm quite sure that if you speak to Eagles fans, they would say that they was Eagles fans before that time frame. I don't know. It could be some bandwagon Eagle fans since 2017, but that's the glory of being a fan of your team. You with them, win, lose, or draw. I told you guys before, the last time the Rams won the Super Bowl was in 1999, right? That was over 20 years ago, right? But they just won it last season, and now the Rams are the best thing since sliced bread. It took them a minute, but I can only imagine the Ram fan, if it was Law Nation, the Ram channel, and if the Rams were just as popular as the Cowboys, there could have been a pundit or critic that can say, hey, man, the Rams are an accident waiting to happen, and that person would have been right for over 20 years. Let that sink in. All right, so let's go to Marathon, Florida from the 305. You're live.
How you doing, Law Nation? Shout out to you. Respect to you, brother. Appreciate all you do. Let me address Cowboy Nation. I know we're frustrated legitimately. I know things are maybe not going the way we would like so far, especially in preseason.
Right.
But sometimes you got to take a couple steps back and get some perspective. I'm from the 305, Miami. Let me say this right here. If the Miami Dolphins went 12-5 and got to the first round of the playoffs,
right,
South Beach would be lit. We'd be throwing down. Okay?
Right.
And what I'm saying is this. We need to everybody take a deep breath. The sky is not falling. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And Cowboy Nation is blessed in so many ways. And one of the ways we're blessed is the content creators on YouTube. There are so many guys out there on YouTube. We get legit content, and we appreciate that.
Appreciate
it. But I'm going to say this right here. If you allow me to address
Go ahead.
Our YouTube community. I think respect is key. My parents passed away, God bless them.
Amen.
They did what they need to do to provide for our family. We always had food on the table. We had a roof over our head. And I did not always agree with everything my parents did.
Right.
But I don't know how it was in your house coming up. In my house, disrespect was not tolerated.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Disrespect was not tolerated. My point is the following. Listen, we need to share our frustrations, our criticisms, and how we need to vent. However, it needs to be done in a way that is respectful. Okay? Taking into consideration that, we are blessed in so many ways. Because let me tell you, and I think I shout out to you, Law, because I think you're among the exceptions. Okay, you always treat the front office with respect.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
And I think that's the way it needs to be done. I got a truck going by here. I apologize for this.
You good?
But but the fact of the matter is there is a level of disrespect for the Cowboys front office and the head coaching. Okay, I'm not here to defend Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. I got my issues with them. Mike McCarthy, okay?
Right.
But I'm gonna say this right here to our YouTube community. Listen, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, they're your daddy. They're your daddy. If it wasn't for them, y'all wouldn't be out here on YouTube. I respect the hustle. I respect brothers trying to do what they got to do to survive, but also think, hey, listen, let's ease up a little bit. Let's ease up. The Cowboys organization, yeah, we know all the things that they haven't done right, okay? But they've done a lot of good things. A lot of good things. Let me tell you, 2 minutes left. As bad as we think they played against San Francisco, hey, Dak Prescott had the ball in his hands under 2 minutes to go. We had a chance to win that game. And most of those games came down to the very last series. My point is, it could have went. Those games could have went any of a number of ways. So we're right. We're not as far as we think. And I'm a with this. My man Michael Irvin. Say what you want about him. Call him a homer. But Michael Irvin got up and said, "Yo, if we clean up the penalties, guess what?
What's that?
We're gonna go undefeated." And yeah, that's Michael Irvin being Michael Irvin. But yo, we got. You see our defensive line, bro? You see them boys on defense. I'm predicting right here the defense gonna lead the way this year. Yes, we need to address issues on the offensive line and at wide receiver. We got issues. But it's early on. But what I'm saying is, there ain't no reason for this gloom and doom and all this negativity, man. Let's be positive. We got it good. That's what I want to see, Law. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. I'm gonna hang up and let you hear your response.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for following me all the way from the 305, man. So whenever I'm out there in Florida, man, I'm going to hit you up, man. Shoot. I want to go down there to the beach, man.
We're waiting for you, bro. We're waiting for you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Take care. It's a good call from him. Now, let me go with my deep thinking right quick. I'm going to go with my deep thinking right quick. Jerry Jones being our father, being our daddy. Like I say, respect for the caller, man. Now, some of us, if you've been a fan of this team before Jerry Jones bought the team, just show of hands in the chat. Right? Because he bought the team financially, and I believe that you guys already bought the team emotionally, right? And by him being the owner, under his watch, the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls. And from different perspectives, like he said, number 10 on this list, the Dolphins somehow is on that list for 48 years, and maybe 49 years at the end of this one, that they've been on this drought, right? So perspectives, if the Dolphins win 12-5, there would have been party. Megan Thee Stallion would have been flown out there and twerking and everything. And we would have had, a whole bunch of shaking out there on the beaches, right? I get all of that. But at some times, when you've been following this team for so long, you have a right to ask for or request for change. Now, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are on this long of a drought, like 48 years and 53 years. No, we're not that long of a drought, but it's long as about half of that. So I tell all of the fans, it's not my mind to change your mind, right? Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. And I truly believe that you guys must still continue to have your independent thoughts of this team and hold his feet to the fire. It's equivalent to if the world, like the United States, had it whereas you only get a chance to run for president once, and once you're in office, you forever in office. You can't be removed, like a dictator's type of situation. And we all know that after Jerry Jones is going to be Stephen Jones to run his organization, unless they do something beyond our mind of something being nefarious, right? That the NFL will force the Jones family to sell this team. And I doubt that will ever happen. I can't tell you guys how to feel. I can't force you guys to be happy about this team and their decisions. But one thing I can tell you guys, continue to hold their feet to the fire, continue to demand success, because I believe that would treat this team the right way. They would treat this team the right way if you continue to demand it. We've seen it happen before when the sponsors were like, no, we are not finna give you guys no money with Dave Campo. Because I think that he had no notion to fire Dave Campo. He was going to try to keep him for another year. But 5-11, they said, okay, the Jones family band, and they said, okay, we'll bring in a proven winner, Bill Parcells, even though he was long in the tooth at the time. And he still was like, hey, Bill came in with his own thoughts or what have you. But that came from the people. Jerry Jones is a hell of a businessman. I think that Jerry Jones did a wonderful job with this organization and franchise. But it's still not enough, because as above, so below. We still seeing issues from the front office trickle down to the playing field because of their decisions on A, not going out getting said player, B, meddling around, C, because of the past, it presents itself for the future. You got to, Jerry Jones, put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. There are things that goes on in life. Cowboy Nation, there are things that goes on in life that's unexplainable. Hidden curses that happen. And I'm not saying that this team is cursed. But until you do right by this organization standard, because there are people who's passionate about this team that's a diehard fans that really looked up to Jimmy, right? Spent their hard-earned money. There's players that literally cried when Jimmy got his Hall of Fame. Look, there are players that literally will say that if it wasn't for Jimmy, they wouldn't have won those Super Bowls. You got players that Jimmy coached that's in the Ring of Honor, but you don't have Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. And sometimes it's the principles. And if you think I'm lying, how about this? You build a house over a grave and let me know what started to happen in that house. Not saying that you can't, but when you do, the unknown started to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
So nobody's looking to build a house over a grave. Mentally, that is what's going on. Not saying that Jimmy is gone from this dimension, but you can't bury what he done did for this organization and franchise. Stop holding his back, Jerry. You know, that's all I'm saying. Hey, Jerry, we know we love you, man. Don't come after me for saying that, by the way. I don't want to mess you up, you know. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Antoine.
Simply because you...
Oh, my bad. Wrong button. but shout out to my guy, Mr. Wright. He sent the donation earlier, and I didn't get it. So, hold on. He says, I know everyone mad, but what do we do now? Backup quarterback didn't give us a good idea of what we have. Penalties, huge issue. Big this year. We will see what we are made of. That was Mr. Antoine Myers, man. Appreciate you, and still happy birthday to you, man. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you so much. And JD from DC says also, why wasn't Mike McCarthy and Josh Ball benched? That's a crazy one right there, man. And then my guy Ken Art, which we can still see for right here, he says, I'm a fan of 53 years. I'm 58. I'm not a cheerleader. I love and I critique. I love Jerry, but I also love pre-Jerry. I'd put our 70 teams up against anybody with no hesitation. I don't know, man. I don't know. See, I grew up in the early 80s, you know, so I didn't get a chance to experience the 70s team. But those 93 Cowboys, with Troy and them, man. I think they'll give a run for your boys, Roger Staubach money. You know what I'm saying? Troy versus Roger. I like this debate, but Troy's my guy. I got Troy. Look, I had a hierarchy. I have Troy. Y'all, you put that butter knife down. I got literally Troy, Staubach, and now the third. It's in battles. Hear me out. Put that knife down. Put that knife down, y'all. Tony Romo, and then I have Dak. At the end of this year, I literally said, Dak have an opportunity to surpass Tony. Now, most people will say, hey, he's already surpassed Tony. But I give it to this 7th year. If Dak have an unbelievable year, I'm going to have it just like this Troy Staubach, Dak Prescott, and then Tony. And then you can put in the other number 11 and all what you have or what have you. But that's the story of another day, man. C. Nick says Dak already passed Tony. No, I'm giving one more year, baby. But let me let the rest of these people in on this call, man. Get in on this, man. Get in on this from the 918. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Law?
Nothing to it, man.
And what's going on, man?
Nothing
I
to
really
it.
got no certain subject at the time, man. Just want to talk about a few things, man.
Hey, I think you got the radio loud on the back, man. Turn my radio down. Turn it down.
TV.
Okay, good.
First of all, I want to just say to the Cowboy fans out there, man, I'm gonna use a little thing that what's my boy Green Bay say when he said RELAX, relax.
Relax, yeah. Old Roger Staubach. Not Roger,
man.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say relax, man, because nobody has critiqued my boys longer than me, man. I've been a Cowboy fan since Dandy Don, Maryland. I'm almost 6 years old, so that's way back there. I don't know who the first Cowboy quarterback was, but I didn't even know nothing about football. And I used to just sit up there and watch the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a little kid, didn't know what the heck I was watching, but
Right.
my mama, she was here, she'd tell you, I love the Cowboys.
Right.
So I just want to tell everybody to just relax. And because we have I ain't been too happy about a lot of things that Jerry Jones Sam has done, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I can say sometimes they get in their own way.
Yeah.
They put their foot in their own suit.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just can't get out the way. You have said it many times on many different levels. See, just like guys, just like guys in the hood say, nigga, get your hand out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take your hand out your own pocket. Because, man, people say, oh, we got running back problems. Oh, we got defensive problems. Oh, we got safety problems. Oh, we got wide receiver problems, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what? If people, it ain't the team that's scary. It ain't the team that doesn't have the heart, man. It's Mike McCarthy. He ain't got no heart because he won't stand up to Jerry Jones and he won't stand up to his team. Because I done coached some. I ain't the most. I used to spend all my time studying football, man. And like I talked to you before, that's why I'm a student of the game, Man, I've been out of it. I don't study the game like I was supposed to, like I could have. Because you turn into a family man, you own your own business, you're working full time. You just don't have time to get on the game and stuff and do the things like you used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I still follow the Cowboys and do everything I can to try to support y'all and everybody and you and everything. You know what I'm saying? But I know that
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before you get into your wonderful piece on that part. Who do you believe in this world could stand up to Jerry Wayne Jones?
The one person I know that would for sure right now?
Who?
Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson?
No, he ain't gonna allow it. He's not gonna allow that.
But see, Jimmy is the type of coach that now, Law, you a smart young brother. I don't know a lot about you, brother. I follow you the best I can. And
I appreciate
you know, man, and I put, you know, and I help all y'all guys out. All like, hey, hell, I'm still trying to start my podcast, but shit, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, you know, is that y'all say a lot of positive things, man, that describe the coaches and the Cowboy organization and all that stuff, man, and about how they be, what they be doing and all that. Because, you know what I'm saying, you know, the team is a reflection of the coach. So,
and who's a reflection of, like, you said the team is a reflection of the coach. And who's the other coach reflects?
I think the coach is a reflection of the owner.
There we go. As above, so below. So there's no way anybody can stand tall to Jerry Jones. Look, Jerry Jones sued the NFL and ultimately won. That's like filing an EEOC complaint with your job and then sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to still work for them. I don't give a care how much money they gave me. I'm still working with my job. You know, they all looking at you like.
But see, Law, you know how us black folks is. We don't care if it was Obama sitting in the seat. If something ain't right, eventually we're gonna go talk to him and say, "Hey, man, look, you need to let me do this, and you need to step out the way. Is you gonna cook or I'm gonna cook?" But that's what I do when I'm in the kitchen. Somebody stepping on my toes, I will go straight to the. I've had battles with owners.
Right.
People say, you know, I just tell them, look, all they can do is fire me. What if I'm part of this team? Don't I have a word? Don't I have a piece to throw in there? I mean, can I, like, chop up a few potatoes and throw them in a pot, too? You may not even see them or know they mine, but can I just chop something up and throw it in the soup, too? Because everybody should have a say. But Mike McCarthy has to eventually, ultimately, he has to stand up to him, and he has to let his team know, look, this. See, because grown men know when it's about a fervent fear, you know what I'm saying, Law. You know that fervent fear we have for mom and daddy. You scared of mom and daddy, but you ain't scared of them like you're terrified of some nigga on the street like they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
But that's what the kind of fear we need to have. We need that fear of respect because, man, it's just like Mark Holmes said something beautiful. Y'all always have this little thing, and I know it was Mark Holmes, and you was there, somebody else. It was y'all guys there, but he was talking about, you know what I'm saying, when he was talking about Jerry Jones now, you know what I'm saying, he was talking about the team. You know what I'm saying, he was speaking on that issue, you know what I'm saying, about the Cowboys and about Jerry Jones and about, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, you know what I'm saying, about everything that the team is facing. You know what I'm saying, because Mike McCarthy has to stand up to that man and he has to let that team know that, look, because if I was a coach, I would say, hey, if you commit a penalty in a game or preseason,
right,
you're gonna be fined $1,000, and I need 100 bleachers before the next preseason game or the real season game. If you commit 5, then your fine goes up to 5,000 and 200 bleachers.
Yeah.
And it would be for everybody. It wouldn't make no difference. Because you setting the standard. We need a standard. We need a standard set because Mark Holmes said, "Hey, if nothing else, we got a bunch of a basketball team."
Oh yeah, I remember that day. Yeah.
Man, we got trees. We got big old tall trees. Look. When I was saying earlier about the Cowboys getting in their own way, I just believe sometimes the authors get in the front, they get in their own way because sometimes things just don't fall right. That you just. You know how Arsenio Hall used to say things that make you go,
Yeah.
You know, he used to say that back in the day. You just be like, how is that happening? How was, you know, saying just like, it just seemed like the main receiver, they were saying, well, he didn't get the target. There's Bryant. I mean, you know, we can't ultimately point the finger all the way at Dak, but sometimes we got to understand that everybody in this organization, the NFL, man, they making millions of dollars, bro. And nobody can tell me that if somebody talking about millions of dollars, they say, hey, I want you to do this right here that you wouldn't do it.
Yeah. But the only thing is, as far as making thousands of dollars, as far from making millions, millions of dollars is far from making billions. And Jerry Jones make billions with the B. And it's hard to tell somebody that making $90,000 a year what to do. I can only imagine what it would feel like trying to tell somebody who made billions. And he's not going to listen, man. It's his way or the highway, and that's Jerry Jones. He would act as if though he did listen to you, but he would still do his own thing. And granted, he's been successful. They make money every year. It's not like we are the bottom end. It's not like we the bottom end of wins, just like the previous caller said, hey, if the Miami Dolphins win 12-5 or the Jets win 12-5, it'll be parade time. So the Jones family, we are not a losing organization. We just not a successful one in the postseason so far.
Absolutely. But still, man, I think that we have that our team is. I think we're so close. Now, there's a lot of other people may not agree with me. There's some of y'all guys out there, y'all study the game a lot more than I do nowadays. But I still study the game long enough over the years.
Right.
By me being as old as I am, I still can look at a team, and I like what I see.
Right.
I like what I see in this team. I like what I see in the secondary, Brand, all of these free agents, Marquise Bell, and all these guys. I just love what I see. I mean, I think the offensive line can be strong. I just don't think they're putting the right. There's a few pieces we know exactly where they go.
Right.
Boy on the left, on the end. Say we know Terrence Steele coming into his second year. That's pretty good.
Right.
But for them to switch like they did last year and let what's name in, that was kind of dumb.
No doubt.
To me, that's kind of dumb because the NFL always says if something's going right, don't mess it up. Well, I think they just really throw some grease on the fire right there. They should have just left that alone. Put him at guard. So we really got just three, what's the name in the middle, and then we just got the other two guard positions. Well, one guard position because we know the other guy. I can't call all their names.
Right.
I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'm talking fast.
No, make a point.
We basically got two positions that we need to really just put people in the right places. I think the receiver position, I think that's solid. I just think we need to just say, hey, let the next man go up. If he doesn't perform like he needs to perform, if he's drafted, then my thing is, why would I kind of look ahead and say, oh, well, let me put Jalen Tolbert in before, even though what's his name was undrafted free agent, T.J. Vassar.
Dennis Houston.
Put the guy in there, him and Simi Fehoko, because they tall, they easy target, and then the cornerback position.
No doubt.
Just put the next man up. If the man don't perform, hey, next. What's the name? Whatever his name is, y'all know all their names. You know who's next probably quicker than me. Put the man up. If it's Kuamu, what's his name is Kuamu, and if he came in and said he was a cornerback, try to man that cornerback.
No doubt. I appreciate you so much, man, for the 919, man. I thank you so much, man.
Look here, man. Look, man, I love your show. I ain't gonna hold you up long. I just wanted to just kind of just peep in on you, man. Just encourage everybody to just look. Don't think that our year is dead or over, whatever the case may be, because it's long from that. We have a long way to go, and we gonna do something this year. Mark my words.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, fam. That's for the 918, man. I appreciate him, man. All right, man. Down to the final two. 314, you live.
What's up, Law? What's going on, bro?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me, man.
All right, well, I come bearing gifts today, Law. I come bearing gifts, man. The gift is the cold, hard truth, my brother. The cold, hard truth.
Okay.
Let me start off by saying the brothers from the 305 Miami, we got some interesting fans out here, Law. And then the other brother who was saying relax. I get it. They want to be optimistic. But this is the code. See, I'm only going to let me say this before I go into it. Everything I'm about to say is how I view it as a fan. I only look at what history has shown me. Everything else is the fandom that people talk about, what they hope to see. I'm going by what we've only seen, what history have shown us. That's all I'm going by. All right, you follow me, Law?
I'm following you.
Okay.
Man.
All right, now this is what we do know. It starts and stops with Jerry, as you've already said, and some of your other folks have already said. It starts and stops with Jerry. We can say it's Mike McCarthy, whatever coach, just like we said it was Jason Garrett, just like we said it was Scott Linehan, ever since Jimmy Johnson has left, other than Bill Parcells. Every coach Jerry has hired is going to be a Jerry's coach. What I mean by that is what everybody already know. It's the reality. They're not going to have a backbone to stand up to Jerry, because if they do, during the interview, he's going to find that out during the interviewing process.
They said they can't even hear you, man. Let me see. Let me make sure that I got this thing straight.
What about now, Law? Is that better?
Let me see. Speak all the way into it, man. Let me see. It's still low. They said you're low, but you're making some good points here. But
Yeah,
just to say this though, if you a billionaire, right? And you buy a house, you gonna buy the house you want, right? You gonna buy the house you want.
I know where you're going, brother. And what I'm saying is, I'm not mad. This is the thing. I'm not mad at Jerry. I can't speak on I'm not saying what I would do if I was a billionaire. I can't even imagine that conversation. So I don't get into that conversation.
Right.
I'm only speaking as a fan. You got to follow me. I'm not speaking from Jerry's perspective as a billionaire owner.
Okay.
I'm only speaking as a fan perspective.
Okay.
And as a fan, the type of fan I am, I'm a realist.
Okay.
I'm not mad at people having optimism and all that. I get it. That's part of being a fan. I'm telling you what type of fan I am. And what I know is, as long as the Jones family own the team, which we know will be to the end of time. So since I know that, the type of fan I am, I go into it knowing that we're really going to ruin our chances every year because the way we set up, Law. Let's just go over the quick history of Mike McCarthy being hired, right?
Go ahead.
When Mike McCarthy was hired, he was told by Jerry Jones, you're not going to call plays. Although this man is known as a play caller, won a Super Bowl calling plays for Aaron Rodgers. Am I correct? But when he comes to Dallas, he's told, you're not calling your plays. The kid wonder's going to call plays. So right from there, he stripped him. Right from there, he stripped him of his manhood and his respect as a head coach.
Right.
Even being a Super Bowl coach, he's stripped now. So going into it, he's already knowing, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was the man. So go back to recent history. In the offseason, when Dan Quinn was being interviewed for head coaching jobs, when the whole flare-up came up about the conversation when he called Mike about, this is what went down, this, that, and the third, and Jerry coming out and saying, oh, I got options and shit like that.
Right.
Like, this man is publicly humiliating and demasculating the man, publicly. You know what I mean? So do you really believe they can talk about all they want about how great their relationship is off the field? Man, that man don't respect. This is what I believe, Lo. I believe Mike McCarthy has made it up in his mind. He's discussed it with his wife and his family. When they having pillow talk at night, him and his wife, when he burned his soul to his wife, he telling his wife, this shit ain't going to end well. I already know that. We going to play this shit out. I'm going to play my part.
Right.
But I know we're not buying. You understand what I'm saying? We're not buying in the market. We may be renting a home, leasing a home, but we're not buying because we're not going to be here long term. So he know that. He knows that. Now, let me get into this whole fantasy of Sean Payton. Let me just ask all the fans, based off what we know, not what you hope, based off what you know about Jerry and Sean Payton, do y'all really think Sean Payton is going to go coach for Jerry Jones under them same circumstances and demands? You already know the answer to that question. Hell no.
Right.
Now, ask yourself this question. Like you just said, Law, this man is a billionaire.
Right.
Do you really think Jerry is going, at however old he is, all of a sudden he's going to say, release some of his power to this man coming in and being the head coach? Do y'all really believe that from what we really already know? So when you answer those questions, it's going to continue to be what it is. So what we have to do as fans is accept being the most popular team in the sport, because that's all we are good for. We're popular for all the wrong reasons if you like to win like I do. See, you look at any other pro sport, Law, all the popular teams, like, not just currently popular like Golden State. I'm talking about the teams like the Lakers, the Yankees, teams that have been historically popular throughout time. Those teams have consistently won throughout eras. You get what I'm saying? Not like 20 years straight or nothing, but I'm saying throughout eras, they have consistently snuck a chip or two in here and there. Dallas haven't done that, although we're the most popular team in the league, in the world. So we got to accept that. That's what we are. And if you don't want to accept that, I get it.
Right.
But trust me, that's the cold, hard truth. Whether you want to accept it, that's your obligation to do what you choose to do. But that's the truth, Law.
There's no way that I can out-debate that fact right there. My only thing would be is if this organization can hit on Kellen Moore, if this organization – because I think they hit with Dan Quinn, yes or no?
Yes, but
they
Law,
hit with Dan Quinn. So
you remember when I
go
called
ahead.
you a while ago and
Go
I
ahead.
said people are unfairly judging Kellen Moore because I don't think we can fairly judge him because I don't think he's able. This is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to Dan Quinn, I will admit this: Dan Quinn is one of the. He's a rarity within the organization.
Yeah.
To be able to come in and be himself, and still be allowed to do what he does, what he's known to do. He's been only one of the few coaches to do that. So when you're talking about coaches within the organization, how can you fairly critique them when you know they're being handled like puppets? They're not doing it. They're not doing what they're capable of doing.
Well, let me say this then. With Dan Quinn, he saw what happened to Mike McCarthy. And just like you said, Mike McCarthy pillow talking to his Swedes or his wife or what have you, he know what's up. So Dan Quinn said, hey, Mike, if you really want me to, I would take a job elsewhere because I see what's going on. And that's a big move for Dan Quinn to understand what's going on because he know that the Jones family done already moved to strike, right? And Mike McCarthy had to go to that episode with Rich Eisen to clear his name and say, yeah, I'm about winning. I've been there before. I know what it takes to win. Now, to us as fans, that's lip service because that's bull sugar. If you knew what it takes to win, then you would have took that clipboard out of Kellen Moore's hand and said, I'm going to call these plays because I know that we're about to lose if we don't do X, Y, and Z. So my only thing is with this is hopefully, that's all I got, man. That's all I got is hope. I got nothing else but hope. And hopefully, man, that's the fan. That's the part of being a fan that come with it. That's the fan in us.
Without hope, what is life without hope, Law? You get
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
What is life without hope?
Right. But the same conversation that you are having right now with me is I had up here on the sheet waiting for a chip. 48 years for the Dolphins, 53 years for the Jets, 75 years at the top of their list for the Cardinals. Their fan base is probably saying the same thing. They got nothing but hope. We can't change none of that. So I guarantee you there's still Cardinals fans out there, Chargers and Bills and Browns fans out there, right?
Man, a lot of people have died wishing for that, hoping for that Super Bowl, man. 75 years. Jesus Christ.
Right. We're not even at the top of this list, But we're a long way from 48 years, but they got a lot of hope. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they made it all the way to the top to fall off. So as a fan, look, the analytical side, I agree with you 1,000,000%. But the fan law is like every year, this is our chance, man. This is my chance, man. I got on. I would put on lucky socks. I got a jacket. I got some drawers that I wear, man. I say, man, we gonna win if I wear these. If I wear this same set, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. I know that's right, brother.
Man, I'm passionate about this team. Like I be banging on the table and saying we need to go get this guy. We need to go. Look, I banged on the table so hard. I go all the way back to Peppers. You remember Julius Peppers?
Oh, yeah.
Before he went to Green Bay?
Oh, yeah.
I was banging on the table saying, man, you put Ware and Peppers on the same. Woo! I was banging on the table. I was banging on the table for Randy Moss. Right? I was banging on. Look, I be saying some things that I know for sure that can get us over the top. I was banging on the table for the Honey Badger. They took my heart out, man. They said, well, we don't need the Honey Badger. We got Xavier Woods, who is just as good as the Honey Badger. And they start putting up stats and stuff. And I said, no! I said, no way. He ain't no Honey Badger. But I still root for this team, man. I still root for this team, man. It's hard, man. It's what part of being a fan is all about.
I can't explain it, bro. And even with all that I said in the beginning, and with all that I know and believe, I'm still a fan.
Right.
Because, like you said, it's hard, bro. Like, it's in us. It's not on us. You can't explain it.
Okay.
It just is what it is, man. You know, we love hard. When you're loyal, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just deal with what comes with it. And that's kind of what it is, man.
Man, it is, man. But hey, we gonna keep fighting, man. But all I can say is when it happened, and the other 31 other teams better hope that it don't happen, because if you think I'm crazy now, you think I'm crazy now, man. Shoot.
Hey, Lord. Hey, brother, I don't even drink, man. And boy, I'm telling you now, man. I might knock a whole gallon off.
Man, I got the hand. I'll pop the seal. I might get some. Was it the Louis V, whatever that thing is. I'm gonna make sure, boy. We're gonna be a party, man. I tell people all the time. There's gonna be multiple parades. I'm gonna take a parade from the Star in Frisco, which is in Frisco, Texas, all the way down to Arlington, right? And then from Arlington back around to the Cotton Bowl Stadium, back to Arlington, then go back up to Frisco. It's going to be a marathon parade sponsored by Law Nation.
I know that's right, brother.
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I just wanted to tap in with you, man. Much love to you, man. I always, I watch you consistently, but, every now and then I do call in. So
I appreciate you, bro.
Time, man. Much love to the nation out there. And
hold on. Before you go, man, I'm going to change your name up here, man, to the Cold Hard Truth, because you too cold-blooded, man. I don't like Cold Truth, but you said it, though. Cold Truth, man. I'm CT, Cold Truth, man. That's your name from this day forward. You the Cold Truth over here, man.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you,
brother.
man.
I accept it, man.
All right, salute.
Love.
Much love to him, man. He the Cold Truth, man. I look, man. Look, I don't like it, but it is what it is. We have no control of the situation. None. Zero. I can only imagine if the Jones family really understood that there's no salary cap as it relates to coaching. And you talk about there's not amount of money that you would spend to get to a Super Bowl. Bull sugar. If I'm a billionaire with a B, I'm sitting here tampering. I'm figuring out, look, after Bill Belichick won his third Super Bowl with Tom, and I'm breaking up that family. I'm picking up the phone saying, Bill Belichick, I don't care. Bring all of those cheap tapes, whatever you got. Come on over here to Cowboys land. I know for sure I got more money than the Crafts. Well, the Crafts got more money. That cheese is a lot of money. But shoot, y'all get what I'm saying. Man, I'm burning through. They're going to have to put salary caps on coaching. I'm making sure I'm bringing in all of the right coaching. And what Jerry Jones got to understand is that he will still get the credit regardless. See, that was just the media saying, hey, man, that's Jimmy Johnson winning that Super Bowl. You ain't getting no credit. You ain't do anything. Boy, sugar, don't you know that the legacy of the Cowboys, Jerry, is tied right in with Jimmy? That's all your credit. Jimmy would never gotten the opportunity, I believe, before that even happened. No owner ever brought in a college coach to be the head coach of anybody's team. That's your credit go right there. You brought in a college coach who was whooping tail in college to really take out Tom Landry. Don't y'all know people were burning the city down? You got rid of Tom Landry. You hired a college coach. You got rid of your best player, Herschel Walker. Shoot, that's your legacy right there. It's right there. Is Jerry himself is in the Ring of Honor? Y'all let me know. I think that right now we can put Jerry and Jimmy in the Ring of Honor right now, living. And nobody would raise an eyebrow. They'd be like, yeah, man, shoot. Don't y'all know that trade? Look, let me just tell you, nobody thought about trading for draft. That's Jerry and Jimmy right there. Don't y'all know the philosophy and the way they handle and operate operations? That's Jerry and Jimmy right there. Last caller, man, Darius, man. You're live, Darius.
All right, Law. God dog, I didn't know I was gonna be on hold for that, but now. So,
how long you hold for? 3 hours?
God dog. but no. So I'm about to start editing videos, YouTube videos, and I kind of wanted to know like what would be your suggestions on like editing YouTube videos, but it's not like creating like Dallas Cowboy content.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm gonna do something like with my family, like kind of interview them like on special occasions like 4th of July, Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna just make a whole video out of that. But like some of them graphics that you use,
right,
like with the Law Nation Fire logo, like number one, how are you doing it? Number one, like where are you going to do that?
Okay.
To edit those videos, and then number two, what camera are you using?
Okay. Sauce conversation. Okay, I give out the sauce, man. There's no hidden secrets to my technique here. I use a mirrorless camera, Sony Z5, I believe. It's a mirrorless camera, Sony. Shout out to Sony, man. Hook a brother up, Sony. Are you an Apple guy or a?
I'm Android. I'm sternly Android.
You talking about phone wise? So you are a.
Well,
Android
I can say
guy.
Windows.
Oh, so you Windows? Okay.
Yep.
I would recommend to anybody that's listening right now, Camtasia. That's what I use as far as my editing software. Adobe Premiere is a beautiful thing to use. But if you was an Apple guy, I'll say lean more towards Adobe Premiere and pay for that. But Camtasia is a unique, beautiful software to use. Camtasia, the latest version, by the way, and they could take off the background. So if you see the illustration here of my thumbnail, I created that all through Camtasia, with the star, the helmet. I kind of got that as my back overlay, and I kind of moved the star and the helmet around. But you can take a picture of Dak, and then you can clear out the background with Camtasia, and you can do that as well as with, Mike McCarthy. And then I kind of just put them in the back overlay, you see.
Yeah, how much do you how much is that software and how much is that camera?
Okay,
like a month or?
The camera is about $1,100, and
Okay.
And then look, we having a whole conversation, baby. Y'all write this down. $1,100. You've been waiting for a long time to get this information, and of course you're gonna have to. But you said you're gonna be doing it for family stuff, right? You're not gonna be live streaming, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Nah, I wasn't it.
What you gonna be doing it for?
No, yeah, it's gonna be for the family.
For the family. Let me hold on right quick. Hold on. All right. So with that being said, I got a Sony AX or X1. You still there, fam?
Okay.
Now, this camera, if you really want to get into it, this camera is $6,000.
Okay.
And the lens itself is about $2,000. Like this lens right here, $2,000. So if you're going to be taking pictures and stuff, you want to get that high quality HD type of groove. So when you go to, let's go right here to when I roll credits, that's shot off of this type of camera, that type of visual. And if you look at the quality of it, the frame rate and all of that good stuff, you can clearly see that it's there, right? There it is. So if you're doing just family stuff, then I recommend you spend a little bit more money and get this Sony A1 camera, and that would be phenomenal for family pictures and stuff like that. And then as far as video content, you can use the other Sony Z5, I believe. You can use it that way.
Okay, that's a bit. I'm glad recording, because I'm definitely finna go back and take notes on that part. But I gotta talk. Last part about the Cowboys. The one thing I was at work. I was arguing with this old school cat.
Right.
Old school cat.
Right.
At work, and I was just telling him how what I think it is, Jerry Jones, Dale, and once again, like I said, Mike McCarthy's trash. The last time I called and I said that, I had a bunch of people calling in after me saying "Oh, I don't know why people are so hard on Mike McCarthy." We see why. This is why. Okay, This is why McCarthy is trash. So clear, and then of course Mike McCarthy knows that he's he ain't gonna last too long. You can see it. I can tell.
Right.
That it's not gonna last that long with. It's probably his last year. But what I think it is Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. I think it has to be the right type of coach, because you see how with Dan Quinn has the green light when it comes to the defense, because they respect Dan Quinn.
Right.
And so whatever Dan Quinn is on, Sam Williams was a Dan Quinn pick. Am I right or wrong, Law?
Yeah, Sam Williams was a guy that they worked out, and he was definitely a Dan Quinn's guy there. Yeah. My
point exactly. It has to. Now, you don't have to be the super hard nosed old school type Bill Parcells, of Lombardi, goddamn, Jimmy Johnson. I don't know if those type of coaches exist in nowadays. But I feel like in order for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to quote unquote get out the way, it has to be a coach that they respect, and they respect his coaching acumen. And so I think, regardless of what anybody else say or think, I have a pretty solid system. It's going to be a pretty solid one. I just feel in order for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to quote unquote get out the way, it's going to have to be from a head coach, an offensive head coach that they respect, and that's they'll more so move out the way for him, and they'll give him more so of the green light to pick the players that he wants, install the players that he wants. The same way they letting kind of Dan Quinn do his thing, it has to be that same type of head coach, and we can combine those two at Super Bowl.
Well, let me push back on that a little bit, because I think that the Jones family, they are a little aloof as it relates to defense. So that's why you see a lot of Jones family's picks been high end, or the majority of the money been on the offensive side, like offensive line. You know, Jerry Jones used to be an offensive lineman. Some of the bigger monies that we spend was, of course, on quarterback, running back in the last decade or what have you. Always been on the offensive side. So defense always been like second and third choices for the Cowboys organization. They refuse to re-up DeMarcus Ware, for crying out loud, and then he goes off to another team and ultimately win a Super Bowl. We can go all the way down to Chris Chanty, a whole bunch of guys, man, on the defensive side. Michael Bennett. Well, that's another subject matter there, but it goes like this, man, Darius, that it's a situation whereas the Cowboys are very in tune to the offensive side of the ball, and they love to spend the money on the offense. So it's been a minute since we've been banging on the table for a safety, banging on the table for an interior defensive guy, or banging on the table for a quality, defensive back. So it's just been one of those things, and I can't wait to see how this play out. But I think that the way Dan Quinn handled himself is unique, and he takes a lot of humility with dignity, and especially by him offering to leave Mike McCarthy, right?
Yep.
Just so he can be comfortable.
Yep.
That goes a long way, man. Not many people would do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's honorable. That's honorable.
Yes.
I respect that.
And you already know how it goes, man. We love Sean Payton. We love the ideal of Bill Parcells. But even Parcells had enough, and he had to leave up out of here. And I'm quite sure that Sean Payton will demand a lot of things on the offense that the Jones family would go tooth and nail and fight for. So it's just what it is, man. I appreciate you, though.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Darius,
right,
appreciate you, man. Hey, when your channel jump off, man, let me know too, by the way. I gave you some good stuff, man. Some places they charge $3,000 just for the information. but Camtasia, shout out to them, man.
Straight to the source, baby. I came straight to the source.
Yeah, man. I'm the Roy Hamilton, man, of the YouTube podcast community, man. They take what I do and they just use it everywhere else, and they claim it as their own, man. I appreciate you, though.
All right, I'll look.
No doubt, man. Some people looking at Roy. People like, who's Roy Hamilton? Just look him up. Let me know what you find out. But it is what it is. Cowboy Nation, I thank everybody for jumping in. Let me read some of the super chats, man. I thank you guys so much for being part of this episode. Scott Simpkins, shout out to you. He says, man, who this on the phone? No, this is my guy, man. He's been waiting literally. I was answering everybody's phone but his, and he was down there at the bottom. And when I strolled up, I said, man, this dude been waiting on hold since the show started. So, but shout out to him for his patience and his endurance with this long episode. And I'm going to get out of here too myself. But I appreciate everybody, man. Thank those who chatted. Thank those who communicated with me. Shout out to my guy, Jay Form. I see him in the house. And I thank everybody, man. I know that, a lot of people like to hold things tight to their chest, but it's free over here, man. It's the information that rules the nation, baby. And I really think that the Cowboys, still just a different team, and I can't wait to see y'all tonight on the Final Word, right? And we'll be going over some things that bounce around as far as opinions and thoughts that can permeate into the hearts and souls of the minds, right? We will talk about those things. Oh, I think I had one other thing. I think I had it up here. Let me see if this it'll make my day.
Speaking of Terrell Owens, on Wednesday, he did mention the fact that when you talked to the team on Monday, he didn't pay much any attention to some of those comments. Does that disappoint you, the fact that he said he was...
No, because he sucks you guys in. He hears everything I say. Okay, and he can tell me 3 weeks from now what I said today. So he sucks you guys right in. So consider yourself sucked.
See, that's how Parcells handled the media. We don't have a Parcells that's here. And you guys let me know if you remember that, right?
I really didn't want to do that.
You know how many years you're going to have to look at that soundbite now? You think you like playing the media game more than what you...
Look, fellas, I got to go to practice. You got something important to talk about? Let's talk. If not, I'm going to practice.
Harris, man,
Okay, I'm not a dealer in chit chat. It's a time of year where the intensity levels up. So
You see how Parcells left that? Look, man, I'm trying to go to practice, man. Yeah. So that's how you supposed to handle things like that, Cowboy Nation. Really appreciate everybody, man. I always tell people, yeah, y'all miss Bill Parcells, right? Bill Parcells press conference. I wish YouTube was prevalent during that time frame, right? I was probably in college. Yeah, I was in college during the time Parcells was here, right? And the way he handled the media was just crazy, Cowboy Nation, in a good way. But I come here to tell you guys right now, if there's one thing a man should always do, mainly to himself be true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they brings makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turns hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was brother, I will roll with brother, ride with brother. The morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who will try to be smart. They will take a decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those no man should call a friend, because they bend lies around the truth until it meets their end. You see, the information is free. The sacrifice is the only pain, right? When I told you guys, yeah, it was $300 for a Camtasia, $3,000 for that camera piece, $7,000 collectively, and another thousands of dollars for this and that. It's not easy, right? Some people charge for those things. Why charge when I know for sure that you guys got my back? And if I present the good information, you'll give it back to me for free. The remuneration will be there. Be careful for those who like to charge for anything and everything, because everything that they say is measured with a price now. You don't know if to take them for realness. But I come here to tell you guys right now that if these guys right now put in the sweat equity, the equity that we get back in return as fans, we'll be able to cash that in with all of our passion, with all our loves, baby. And this team need to do such this year heading into the 2022 season. That's the equity that we're looking for. That's the equity and the points of returns that I'm looking for. Right? We all looking for that, baby. Jay Lombardi said 13 Pro Bowls and no playoff wins. I feel you. I feel you on that. Shout out to you, Atkins. Appreciate you. Ready Red, thank you. Shout out to you, Warren Duncan. Appreciate you. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys. That's why I always say, man, when it's all said and done, the most remarkable thing that I got here that's on this dimension is time. And I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart that you guys spend time with me. And that's why I say that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, baby. Let's get on up out of here. Let's go. Dak, get it right. Roll those credits, baby. Sharing is caring. Sharing is absolutely caring. Let's go.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing.
Shout out to you, Manny.
I got wifey
Stand up.
Freeze. Photo. Please. No photos. G's. No. Please. No photos. Hit the door and the domain just
come on.
Whole team here, money some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I.
Let's roll them credits again. It's time for some fire. Yeah.
Chalk it up. Talk of the time when you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble.
Shout out to you, Powell. Common Sense Lab, Chris 214. Let's go. Simmons, JD from DC. Mr. Right. Shout out to you, Sway. Zick. Scott Simpkins. Appreciate you. Yeah. I give it. Did y'all hear that? I keep giving game away, baby.
I get paid on rainy days.
Yeah.
I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today.
Got paid on pain today, baby.
In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul.
Never.
Heard your whole team was for sale.
Not ours,
Heard this
baby.
on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role.
Come
Give
on.
you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up.
Ooh.
Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
Come on.
Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me.
I've got balls of steel.
What you tell them?
Nobody coming to see you, Otis. No, please, no photos.
Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really
Come
excites me. Only one of me and
Come on out to
nobody's
Cowboys Experience events, man. I promise you, you won't have a good time. You will have an absolute great time with the nation. I can't wait to see you guys so much, man. One love to you all. I can't wait to see you guys out there. DC for life. Let's get it. I'm gonna have to update it. We don't have Cedric Wilson no more on this team. But shout out to Cedric. I heard he's doing pretty good out there, man. He's doing pretty good. But with that being said, Cowboy Nation, y'all know how this thing goes, right? And I heard some news that happened.
When your team is getting demolished like that, I sit up here, I swallow a lot of what I know. And a lot of what I know is what I'm starting to see right now. That's why this team is awful. You're not good when you get embarrassed like that. And why the hell do we have these benches with heat things for them in a damn stadium? It is the dumbest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. We took them to Dallas, they embarrassed us.
No
So
doubt.
if we take those to another stadium, we have to be the laughing stock of the damn internet. When your team is getting demolished like that,
I probably had it.
Monty!
Go to show you who's the better team, and I'm sticking Cowboys.
You crying.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go Birds, fly Eagles, fly. Still Super Bowl chance for now.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it on up out of here, boo. Let's go. We up out of here. Open up. Where's Monty? I'm hurt. I just need to find me a Giants clip, and then I'll make sure that all of my teams in the NFC East, boy, we can just knock them out, right? Come on.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out, breathe you in.
Yeah. Shout out to the sponsors for this episode. Come on. Let's go. Boom. And you. Texas Lottery Plaza. Appreciate y'all. Be sure to look them up. If you're watching all the way to this point and you have not hit that like button,
Shame. Shame.
Check us out later on The Final Word. I can't wait to talk to Big Game James and my guy, the OC and Boss, all of those boys. Yeah. Especially Big Game James. In another way. All at one.
All at one. Don't let the street lights hit you all alone.
Now, so the cocaine.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns. But there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
It's Mr. Nasty kind.
Wherever you go.
Come on.
Whatever you do, play it too.
One love, baby.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
That's where the guts went, just dropped them.